All right. I just noticed I put on the wrong intro.
I was wondering what that was.
I noticed I put on the wrong intro. I'm like, oh my god.
like,
Okay, here we go. Sorry, chat. Real intro. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Iconic Video Games Podcast. I am your host, Axel1324.
I'm Death Dealer.
And I'm Doggy Dog 420.
That's right. And tonight, guys, we're going to talk about what makes retro gaming iconic and why we still, us old folks, love it so much. But before we get into that, Death Dealer, what you been playing this week?
Not much, really. A little bit of Dead Island. And then I played this dress-up game with my kid. I don't know the name of it.
Is it Infinity Nikki?
No. It's something... They give you a theme, and you have to dress up the character in that theme. I've realized, though, that most of these kids don't understand what a theme is and dressing within it. So...
Hence why you did it to help her.
Good times.
All right. Doggy, bro, what you been playing?
Let's see. Last Saturday night, me and my man Jago went through the first 4 acts of Gears of War 2.
Mm-hmm.
We might finish that up tonight. Let's see. What else did I play this week? I know I play. Oh, yeah. Star Wars Outlaws. And Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics that came out sometime earlier this week or something like that, right? When it this week it released?
It got released
yeah,
last week.
Yeah, I just picked it up. So yeah, I enjoyed that too. Been playing that. Glad that's on
Nice.
Xbox now.
Nice. So I've been playing, of course, I've been playing Diablo 4, Season of the Witch and stuff. So yeah. And then, but I started playing Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. And I am stuck on some stupid red ninja guy, and he is just so fast. I'm like, how am I supposed to beat this guy? And everybody I see who beats him online have like these overpowered builds, and I'm like, what the hell? They're like, oh yeah, I'm coming into this guy at level 30, and I'm like, I'm level 10. I'm like, what do you do to level 30? Like, I've explored everywhere I can explore. Did I miss something? So I backtrack everything, and I'm like, nope. Anyways, I only went up like 2 levels, so I'm like, I might stop playing because I hate grind fest. Like, I don't like grinding. But I was having fun up until that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, chat, let us know what you've been playing. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. In the meantime, let's check it out here. Cheese is Nasty is in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. Says, eating a homemade quesadilla with no cheese for supper. So, a tortilla. Got it. He's eating a homemade tortilla. Hey, at least it's homemade.
Okay, you need to get cheese. Everybody needs cheese on like most foods. Cheese be a major food group in your house,
Oh my goodness!
unless you're lactose. In which
my
case,
stomach would kill me. I'd be on the toilet all the time if that happened. I'm lactose intolerant.
that is blasphemous.
Let's see. Just a bored artist says hello. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. Appreciate you. Shout out to Prey Grasso and Tony Grasso. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVPs. Shout out to my beautiful wife. You are the MVP of my life. And she says, yay, still great intro. Yeah, that's right. Even though I hit the wrong intro button. Hey, things happen on a live show, guys. Let's see. You're Wicked Hot joins us. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. He says, "What's up, everyone? Happy Friday!" And in case you guys missed it, I was with You're Wicked Hot this Tuesday, so that was fun. It was a good time. Let's see. Be Nice is in the house. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP and saying hello to everybody. Thank you so much. Fastback is in the house. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. JD joins us. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. Says, "Evening, Axel. Hope you all are looking forward to the show." Yes. Hopefully you're loving it. Let's see. Anybody else I'm missing? Pig Pickles is in the house. Somebody's podcast mate. Is that
Hi,
what it is?
Vicky.
Podcast mate? Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. And let's see. The JD's Barbecue and Bourbon. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. He says, D4 bad. Just kidding. Been playing Final Fantasy VI PR.
Pixel Remaster.
Oh, Pixel Remaster. Trying to get one last achievement. Oh, Doggy knows that one.
Yeah, I haven't actually went through that Pixel Remaster yet. I can't wait to get to that one. But yeah, it's cool. How you doing,
Yes.
brother? How you doing?
Absolutely. Frank Grasso says,
Yes.
lactose now, tolerate later.
Yes.
Sometimes sacrifices have to be made. I agree.
She knows what's
Pip
up.
Pico says she's been playing House of Ashes. Don't know. Never heard of it. Oh my gosh. Be Nice jumps through a different game every day of the week. Metaphor ReFantazio, Marvel vs. Capcom, Sniper Elite, Indiana Jones, Wolfenstein, Stalker 2, Black Ops 6. I game hop. Yeah, I get
Nice.
But hey, whatever makes you happy, man. Shout out to John 907I. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. He says, thank Crunchy. Crunchy, it's Friday. Sup, everybody. Crunchy, I don't know.
That's fine.
Pin Pickles. She says, I'll tell you what I haven't been busy doing. Sloppers. Oh, my.
This is just
Listen
going
up.
to be an ongoing thing. I know this already.
This is gonna be the staple of your show now.
But I have
Yeah.
to mention it every show.
Every show, every time I
And
see
this
you
week
ladies
we
online,
did
it's gonna
not
be
eat
sloppers.
sloppers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and make one just to see what the hoopla is about because I genuinely don't understand it.
You're gonna have to try one. Let's see. My friend who can't chat, just rolling an animator, says hi to Doggy Dog. All right, somebody's just a board artist friend says hi, Doggy Dog.
Yeah, what's up, Jagger? I'm sure that's who she's talking about. So
Mhm.
yeah, what's up, my dude? How's it going? Thanks for listening.
And there you go. I've 100% every other Pixel remaster. Dang, way
I've-
more fun than me. Way more
I
fun than me.
100%ed the first one, which wasn't really even too hard on that one, and then the second one, and I want to get on to the third one, which is probably next after Star Wars.
Mhm.
The second one was a tougher completion, and they probably just get tougher as they go on. I would think. I'm sure 6 is pretty rough, So yeah, that's what I want to do though. I want to 100% them all. I'll be disappointed if I don't.
I see.
Even though I missed something in the one on the PlayStation, that Final Fantasy 4, I missed
Mhm.
something in it, so I was pretty disappointed I didn't get that.
I bet.
But I'd rather get the 100% on Xbox anyway.
Chael Walker, thank you so much for being here. You're the real MVP. Says, did we ever find the Axel? Because this always positive one is a keeper. Hey, thank you so much. I love being positive. Yeah. I don't know who the other Axel is. The negative Axel. Let's see.
I think that's the one on. I think that's the one on Sunday.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
or do you think it's the one on Tuesdays?
it might be the one on Tuesdays. Yeah.
Let's see. Cheese is Nasty says playing House of Ashes also on lethal difficulty. There you go.
Nice.
There you go. All right. So, yeah, it is going to be the best food ever, and it does have a lot of cheese in it. You're wrong. It has a ton of cheese.
I'm doubting
All
it.
right, we are
I'm
going to go ahead
gonna
and
get
mute
the
Death Dealer here for a minute. So, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna get the recipe and I'm gonna try and make them. And I'm
You can't make
telling
it.
you right now, I'm gonna be. What do you mean you can't make it?
It
Why?
takes
Is
very
it
specific chili that only grows in Colorado.
what jar salsa does not work? I can't buy jarred salsa from Colorado. You know what? Lucky for you, I got
No.
some friends that live in Colorado. I'm just
Why
having my
would you
friends
buy
tell me
jars? Why would you put salsa on it?
my
Salsa? The
I-
heck is a
whatever-
slopper, not potato chips.
what is supposed to be on it?
Green chili from Pueblo Green
Okay,
Chilies.
whatever. Well, how do you make green chili? What makes it green?
The chili.
That sounds horrifying. This just
goodness.
gets worse. The more I hear, the worse this thing gets. I thought the picture was bad, but like now, green chili. What is that?
Oh my goodness, she doesn't know what green chili is. Okay,
Is it like green eggs and ham?
no.
Is
All
it just
right, let's see. My
celery?
beautiful wife says Tuesday one. That Axel is nasty. Keep teasing Mr. Doggy.
I wouldn't have that any
Shout
other
out to
way.
El Nitty. Thank you so much for being here. You're the real MVP. All right, before we get on to that, let's get back on topic here. All right. All right. So tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about the reasons what makes retro video games so iconic. So we're not really necessarily focusing on games, but more on concepts of retro gaming. And so we picked a couple of topics, like 20 of them, that we're going to go through. And we'll try to get through as many as possible, but we probably won't. So this might be a two-parter.
Yeah,
But it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. Yep.
It's all right. All right, so here we go. So the first reason we thought why retro gaming is awesome and iconic is that there was a greater variety of sports games. You know, now you only have the Maddens, the football club, the NHL, the serious ones, and only one NFL license, only one
Right.
NHL license, only one baseball license. But you know what? Not only did you not need license to make games back in the day for those things, you just didn't have the players or whatever. But you also got great variety in games like Mutant League Football,
Right.
Mutant League Baseball, right?
Right.
Just all these awesome varieties of games. Like you had Tecmo Bowl, you had Madden, you had Joe Montana Football.
Yeah.
That's just football that I'm thinking of. I'm not even going into all the rest of them, right? And it was just so awesome back then that you had a greater variety of sports games. Like even when you think wrestling, right? You had like WCW wrestling and WWF wrestling, and then you had weird wrestling, right?
It's pro wrestling.
Yeah, pro wrestling. Yeah, it was just so good, and now it's just like simulation wrestling. It's like it just had so much more variety of sports games back in the day, and that's why retro gaming is another reason why it's awesome. Death Dealer, what do you think of this reason?
What do I think of what?
Of this reason why retro gaming is awesome.
Yes, I agree. I mean, there were so many different games, and it was different than you had to rely on something else during different generations of consoles. For the earlier ones, it was all word of mouth. I mean, I can't really recall ever seeing too many commercials for games being released. It was all just basically word of mouth. And then, of course, your gaming magazines and things. So, yeah, your games they were held to a different standard then. There are so many games now. It's almost, there's too much variety at times. And they don't always... And, well, let's be honest. A lot of games now, even when you buy a hard copy, you still have to get it home and then download like 50 updates.
That's later. That's later, Death Dealer. Focus on sports.
Oh, this goes for even sports games. Name a sports game that you've picked up recently that you...
Source. I love these names on there. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I agree. You can't. You gotta wait it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doggy Dog, what do you think about the sports variety back then versus now?
Oh man, my brother even brought up a couple in the chat here. Remember Double Dribble? That was awesome. We played that all the time. Like you said, if you're on the left side, you were going to win. Like that was we had that figured out. So of course we'd fight over who got to play on.
Yeah, and then you had like arcade sports games like NBA Jam.
Right, NBA Jam.
With NFL Blitz.
Super Baseball 2020. Of course, like just the variety of baseball games back in the day. Like they had Tecmo Baseball, Bases Loaded, RBI Baseball. Sega had World Series Baseball. High Heat Baseball. Sorry to all the other ones I forgot, but I loved baseball games so much back then. There was so much variety. Some of them were crazy, like Super Baseball 2020, where you were just robots, and you had to upgrade your robots and stuff. Like I said, it's a shame that was a lie that baseball wasn't really like that in 2020. What else? What other? Yeah, football was more variety. More boxing games, stuff like Punch Out.
Yeah, that's
really
right.
you don't really get you don't really get stuff like that anymore. Yeah, there was just tons of variety of games. And like you said, now it's like there's just a license for each thing. NFL, one license, and of course it's the same game every year. I went over that last week. Yeah, the baseball, one license, even though it's good, just one license. You know, everything's like that. Even golf games aren't as many golf games. You used to get a ton of cool golf games. So yeah, the fact that there was,
you used to get hot shot golf.
You didn't even have to have licenses, and they'd still make cool stuff. Now it's just like if you don't have the license, to heck with it. I'm not even going to mess with it. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know I'm missing so many good sports games, but the creativity and the variety of sports games back then blew that way. Like you said, NBA Jam and Blitz and the arcades, and once they were home ports, those were just always a blast. So yeah, this is a great example of why retro is
king.
Is king. Yes,
that's right. Let's check in with the chat. They're on fire. We love Double Dribble. If your net was on the left, it was an easy wing.
Yeah, it's yep.
Pink Pickle says I had Tecmo Baseball.
That Tecmo baseball was so fun. We loved that.
I didn't even know that existed.
Right, it was.
I'm gonna have to go find it now.
It was probably the best baseball game.
I didn't know. Like you said, word of mouth. There were no commercials for Tecmo Baseball.
Yeah, that was that's true.
Me and my brother rented that all the time, did we, Jay? We rented that game all the time. Yeah, that was probably our favorite one. Yep.
Fastback says I prefer retro sports games like Tecmo Super Bowl, All Stars Baseball, Blades of Steel, Double Dribble,
Blades of Steel. That's another one I was gonna say. Yep.
Let's see. And I'm sad Super Baseball 2020 was a lie.
Yeah, see, baseball should be like that, and it would be way more interesting.
Right. Let's see. Does American Gladiators count as a sports game? You know what? I'm going to count Sonic Spinball as a sports game. Why not? You know, like you got all these great things that like they were experimenting on fun, not realism back then. So
and I count
like
Gladiators.
Like that Theater was bringing up. It's just all focused on the realism, and back then it was all fun. I mean, look at this. It's just ridiculousness.
Yeah,
a lizard catches it and it's rolling around. I mean, come on.
I mean, how many different types of games like this in particular did they have where it was like monsters, zombies? They just used to come up with random things at times for sports games just because, hey, why not? We haven't done it before.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. JD says, real retro. I loved Arnold Palmer golf on the Sega Genesis, where he would tell you advice really like, this looks like a bird or something. Like it was so funny. Like, oh man, Arnold Palmer, great. So yeah, anybody got anything else on the first thing that makes retro gaming iconic, and that is greater variety of sports games. Nobody else?
I think we pretty much covered it. We might have forgot some cool ones, and we're sorry to those titles, but we covered a lot of it. Yeah,
there's so many we can't name everything.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Let's be honest.
And everything kind of blends together, guys. Okay, so if we kind of merge topics or talk topics early, just kind of bear with us because we're passionate. All right, up next is the people were saying he was saying it here. He kind of leads into realism ruins sports games. I think a lot of old sports games were better for having less realism. Yeah, and that's another thing that we want to focus on. Oh, hold on, it's loading.
I, for one, am going to be the first one to mention I miss the way that some of the football games used to have the runners run across the field or run like back and forth before the play started. Nobody runs like it's a foosball table anymore. Like that was the funny part about it. Like they would run back and forth like it was a foosball table. Am I the only one that remembers that? That was funny to me.
Maybe you're the only one who remembers that. All right. So the next reason why we think retro gaming is awesome is that it focused on art style over realism. Nowadays everybody ever since I kind of blame Digital Foundry a little bit on this one. They were focusing on how realistic everything can be, how this person has more wrinkles than that person and all this stuff. And I mean, I'm using the Secret of Mana on the PS1.
Legend of Mana.
Sorry, Legend of Mana on the PS1 as an example here of art style. I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous, man. Nothing here looks real. Not a single thing looks real. Right? You got talking trees and elf towns and all this stuff. I mean, and it looks gorgeous. The art style is great. And this is why I've always went art style over realism myself. Like maybe it's because I'm a retro gamer that this is the way I prefer it, is the art style over realism all day, every day. you guys can take that whole, oh, this the eyeballs look more real. Well, I think it's impressive from a tech standpoint, and I'm glad we're able to do it. I'm still a huge fan of art style. I prefer games that take me away from reality and into fantasy more than anything. Right? That's just me. Death, what do you think about art style over realism?
I miss that part. I mean, yeah, you've got some games that focus on being cute and things, but there were more options, and they put, I think, like almost a little more detail into some of the stuff at times, depending on the, again, depending on what generation it's from and things. You might not be able to make out what it is.
Yeah, that's why I went with the PS1 because I didn't want it to be too pixelated. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, there was more detail in some of the backgrounds and things, especially. It seems like oftentimes now you've just got, a few things here and there. It's not like this, you've got a whole forest looking behind it. And volcano and things. You don't necessarily have that in a lot of these games anymore.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, shout out to the chat. They bring up Skull Monkeys. I mean, look at this, like almost claymation style, right? Well, let me get a brighter level. Here we go. This snow level. I mean, you get this almost claymation style. Nothing here looks realistic, but man, were we having fun back then, right? So, Doggy, art style over realism. What do you think?
Right, you guys covered it pretty good. Yeah, Legend of Mana, that was a perfect example of some hand-drawn graphics. And it was praised for that back in the day. And I just played that game because it came out on Xbox not too long ago. I just played that. And that's just take that feeling of it taking you back, just seeing those kind of graphics, simpler times. And it seems like, nowadays, it's almost like they're focusing too much on frames and just photorealistic stuff, and you kind of forget to add the gameplay to it too. So it's like, and saying they're too focused on the super realism. Here we were mixing great graphics and great gameplay. And also you get so many different styles. Like, let's go to one like Jet Grind Radio. And,
the cell shading art style. Yeah.
Cell shading, and you'd see stuff like that. And seeing that for the first time was so cool and so beautiful. And you're going to get more colors and stuff with these kind of, instead of just, I mean, I could go outside and get realism. I go touch grass.
Touch grass when I'm playing video games?
I don't want to do that. I want to play video games. I want to be out of real life. I want these hand-drawn graphics. But no, seeing I love it. Like Sea of Stars, when I played Sea of Stars a year ago or whatever, those were these kind of graphics. And I loved that game so much, and that was part of the reason, because it took me back to this. I always loved RPGs like Legend of Mana, Secret of Mana, those kind of games, just because of the graphics they had. So, and the gameplay. So, but
absolutely
great. Another great example of why retro gaming is king.
Is iconic. Yeah,
iconic. Yeah.
Let's see. Pig Pickle says, "I agree. I don't care about how good the graphics are." Yeah, exactly. Let's see. JD says, with those awful live action cutscenes. Yeah, those are great.
Oh yeah, with the Sega CD stuff. Yeah,
I love them.
Yeah.
Jet Grand Radio Arts, great art star from Glitcher. Shout out to Glitcher. Thank you so much for
being here. What's up?
Real MVP.
Yeah, what's up?
JD's Barbecue says, we were playing Primal Rage with Sega last week. There you go.
Oh, Primal Rage. Man, that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and none of those dinosaurs look real. Trust me.
Yeah.
Just a board artist says, I agree with my friend because it has that WarioWare game style. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Cheese is Nasty. I kind of got to agree with Cheese is Nasty here. VR has gotten me back to enjoying games, right?
That's good. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Glizzer, remember when you first saw Cuphead? Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool game. Hard game.
Yeah, and I agree with Fastback here. Realism is cool, but love artistic games. Absolutely.
Well said, Brother Fastback.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, well said. All right. Let's see. Up next. All right. We don't really have anything here, so I'm going to zoom into my buddy Doggy here. We're talking about something that has gone the way of the dinosaur. It's extinct in games these days, and that is none other than games. Retro games used to come with what, Doggy? What they come with?
Instruction books.
That's right.
Instruction books like this, they always had some beautiful art in them, and kind of told you how to play the game because I don't know how to play games, so I needed help. I needed maps. They come with maps, and yeah, Zelda here even came with this tips and tactics, right? This was like so cool. This is why you would play through Zelda a million times, just because it was fun to just follow your little map. And this even came with the little map,
A pull-out map.
and see, that's what's cool. See, I miss that about games coming with even just the map. Even though I know you can just press select now and the map will come up or whatever, but yeah, or just even cracking open the game and getting that fresh smell of that instruction booklet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got a pretty good load of the ones here from the Nintendo days. We got a few cool ones here. But other than that, yeah, it's kind of a bummer just opening up the game and all you get's like a little thing for buy our DLC, and that's
it.
Not the same. Yeah, if you want an instruction book, you got to go download it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. I mean, this is everything you used to get back in the day. Like,
Right. Yeah.
and this is like 40 pages of awesomeness. And here's the map Doggy was talking about.
Yeah. Yep. And it came with little stickers that you could put on there and label it. If you found a heart container and you knew it was there, you could put it there, so you always knew.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
geez. I mean, look, it showed you all the bad guys you were going to
Yep.
run into, their weaknesses, their strengths,
Shows your
all
your
kinds
rings,
of stuff.
your weapons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Power ring. What all do we have on there?
And you came with a control
bomb.
thing. I mean, how many times do I have to pause to see how to what each button on the controller does?
So many buttons there too. It was hard to remember
Oh my gosh!
which one did which.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there you go. Oh, Doggy has a free personal pan
I
pizza.
could always get me
Nice.
a personal free pan pizza, thanks to Turtles the arcade game.
I wonder. You should try to fake redeem that, Doggy. See what they say.
Let's
Don't
see what
actually
it.
redeem it.
Let's see what it says. It expired. Doesn't even have an expiration date. Let's
Oh,
try that. I'm gonna have to try that.
But don't actually redeem it.
No. Yeah, they'll tell me no anyway. But yeah. I wish I still had all my other books from Super Nintendo days and stuff like that. But I'm still glad to have these. But yeah, that's one thing that was cool to get that instruction booklet, because that's what I would do. I'd get that instruction booklet and read it first before I'd even crack into the game.
Cover to cover.
Right. That was part of the experience. So I just loved reading anything about games. The instruction booklet or magazines, whatever. So
yeah, like this is for my Sega Saturn. I got this for my Sega Saturn, and I'm like, oh, cool, a little booklet, right? And I open it, and it's showing off all the Sega Saturn games, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay. It opens again. It opens again. What happens here? And not only did I get an instruction manual, but there's another thing you used to get back in the day: posters. You used to get posters in the game.
Look at that.
full size posters too, not little 4-inch ones. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome posters. You used to get this stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is what made retro gaming incredible back then. I mean, it's just unbeaten. Titula, anything you want to share with us?
Mine has the notes spot, actually. Mine has a spot for notes. Oh, yeah, I miss these things. These are
Notes. Yeah, you'd have
cool.
spots for notes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's got everything in it. Movementos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I miss these. And I agree with Pinky. I'd rather read an instruction manual than play the tutorials, man. Like, this was so much better because you could skip the stuff you wanted to without having to sit there and press a button 1,000 times.
Mm.
And if you forgot it, it's right here for you to look back on it. Whereas, with tutorials, you can't really. I mean, you could replay them, but it's not the same, guys. It's not the same. Let's be
Right?
honest.
Yeah, no.
These things were awesome. Oh, and let's not forget the warning section of these. The later
what?
ones had warning. The later ones had a warning section.
Oh yeah, warnings. Yeah, that's right. Our games didn't have warnings on the screen; they had it in the manual.
Compliance with FCC regulations, right there in the back. Yep.
Mm.
And it even had credits. The
You
stats-
better comply.
You better comply. That's right. Let's see. Chair Walker says, police quest for PC manual had key passwords that you needed for the game. Yeah, I remember that. John on the 79 says, we are the gamers. The issue has come from the developers. Start making good games again. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Bring me back physical. Let's see. Let's see. Fastback says games back then had basic wisdom. Today they have basic stupid. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Cougar Man 69. Thank you so much for joining us. You're the real MVP. Let's see. Glinzer says strategy guys were retired by GameFAQs and the internet, but they were cool. Yeah. I still have some. Actually.
Yeah, I love
I still have some.
I love getting strategy guys.
Fastback says love the tips and magazines back then too. Yeah, Nintendo Power, baby. Yeah. And Cougarman 69 says, unfortunately, most people throw out the SNES and N64 boxes, which I never understood because I love the cover art for games. Yeah, back then they were cool too.
Oh, I used to have all my boxes, and my mom threw them all out one day.
Oh my gosh, your mom
with all my magazines and everything, dude. It's like you're kidding, right?
Oh my gosh.
But they were gone, So.
Oh my gosh, doggy, how could this happen to us?
Yeah. How could this happen? I'm gonna cry.
How could you let it happen to us?
Scream. I have to make like a fake Bitcoin to go cry about that.
My goodness. All right, hold on. Let me get ready here.
Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I loved those old stuff. So
yeah, like I said, it's just as cool to crack open your game, get that fresh video game smell, and read your instruction booklet and dive in. Yeah, it's like a ritual.
Yeah,
a ritual. Yeah. Speaking of rituals, Dougie, guess what time it is?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the iconic Video Games Podcast proudly brings to you its greatest podcast segment in the world. It's intermission time with Death Dealer.
Woo! You guys know the drill. I have no idea what's going on. So join me while we find out.
What do you mean? You know what's going on this week.
Yeehaw.
You saw it. You read it to me before the show.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Okay, we're asking.
Not knowing what's going on and forgetting what's going on are two different things.
Right, yeah.
I didn't necessarily wasn't paying attention that was the intermission. We're going to be asking questions. Right?
Retro gaming questions at that.
Retro gaming questions. We will have an answer. You should write your answer in so we know what you're thinking.
Absolutely. All right. Can you see the question, or do you need me to put it in the private chat?
I could see it. Okay.
All right. Ask away.
All right. How close could you be to the TV before your parents yelled at you? 3 inches.
No,
2
feet,
inches.
feet.
Sorry. 3 feet, 2 feet, 1 foot, or inches away.
Take it away, Deathdealer. Which one?
Oh, I'd probably say my mom would get upset if we were like at least 2 to 3 feet back. It's gonna ruin your eyesight. Your eyes are gonna be terrible if you don't move away from the screen. Now look at us. We have screens that we hold up to our faces all the time now. Our eyesight does like that.
So you're thinking 2 feet.
Yeah, 2 feet.
Okay. All right. Doggy, where are you at on the feet? Look at it. Look at this man. He's wearing glasses. You know he was in close.
Yeah. I ruined him sitting too close. I don't think I ever remember you. JD, if you're still in the chat, you can refresh my memory. I don't think we ever got in trouble for sitting too close at all. Like, I mean, I imagine if we were inches away from the screen, she would have probably yelled at us. But I mean, with those short controller cords, you couldn't be that far away from the screen anyway. So I would say inches. I would have to go with inches. That would be what we'd have got in trouble for. Yeah.
Okay, inches. All right. Okay, so me, I remember this distinctly because of the SNES blaster walking up to the TV and pointing the gun at the TV and holding it there so I could shoot those stupid ducks. My mom would yell at me. So let's see when I was little.
That's good, Axel.
That was maybe a foot back then. I'm gonna go with a foot, maybe a little more than a foot, but less than 2 feet. So I'm gonna go with a foot. For me, it was a foot, and my mom would be like, you're gonna go blind. What are you doing? Go outside. Turn that off and go outside. So yeah, I remember So yeah, for me, I'm gonna go with 1 foot. 1 foot for me. All right, and that's gonna be enough voting time. Death Dealer, how did the chat do?
All right. And the chat with how close you could be to the TV before your parents yelled at you. 38% said 2 feet. 30% said 3 feet. 23% said inches away. And 7% said 1 foot.
All right, I'm in the 7%.
My
All right.
my brother said he said that our hair was sticking to the static from the TV. So yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Oh,
All right, yeah, let's
that's
take a look
funny.
at the chat. Let's see. Be Nice says. Hold on. There we go. Be Nice says, go blind. Okay, until he went blind. All right, let's see. Blizzard said, you got too close to this here, too, and the resolution looked worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Let's see. I saw someone in here. Someone jumped in here. Shout out to Star X-Man. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. Appreciate you, man. And hey, it was fun podcasting with you on Tuesday. Let's see. Fastback said, Poltergeist movie got me sitting further back.
That's funny.
JD says, I was so close I could see the pixel squares. Dang.
I mean, did you really have to sit close for that some games? Because, I mean, I distinctively remember things looking blocky at times. So.
Pig Pickle says, our couch was less than 5 feet from the TV. Dang. Oh, my God.
If this is
Listen, yo cathode ray tube your eye out, kid. Christmas movie. All right. Good stuff. All right. Next question. Take it away, Death Dealer.
all right, and the next question. Let me pull that back up. Okay, how many times did you have to blow on the cartridge before it worked? 0 times, 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times? And I personally kind of distinctively remember having to do it at least like 3 times.
Hmm.
1 on each side and then 1 in the middle, give it a nice good. So, yeah, 3 times, man. 3 times. I'm going to stick to that.
All right. 3 times. Doggy, how many times?
Yeah, at least 3 times. We rented so many games and they were so dirty, putting them in that Nintendo. Yeah, at least 3 times. I mean, it never. 1 time was never enough.
Nope.
2 times, you may as well just went 3, and that was probably not even enough. I remember we went and got one of those alcohol cleaning kits, and that kind of stuff, and you get all that dirt off there, but you still had to blow into it. It didn't matter. That's how you had to do it. And then you also had to push up and down, like the Nintendo, how the cartridge went up and down. You'd have a couple times, pull it out, put it back in.
The hell?
Then it would work.
Use your Nintendo, bro.
Hey, it worked, man. Well, you had to do what you had to do to game.
Yeah.
Good grief, Doggy. It's
You see, you
a
blew into
Nintendo,
a
not a
controller?
woman.
Or you see you blew into a cartridge, now you blow into a controller, man. I'd rather blow into the cartridge, man. That's still.
Doggy's over there blowing.
That's why gaming's
pushing
better
the
back
cartridge
then.
in and out, using his fingers to go up and down. It's a Nintendo, not a woman, Doggy. Calm
To
down,
be
bro.
fair,
Hey,
we
it's-
knew he had some odd taste back in the day because if you can recall the CD discussion, the cleaning the
Oh
CD
my
thing,
God.
he
Yeah.
came out with putting it in the toilet, okay? I said washing it and a few other things, but he's the one who came out with the toilet. So
Yep.
Right.
we already knew some of his game practicing was a little odd. This is
Right.
not a surprise.
All right, so I might be the only one here, but I took super good care of my stuff. I had to blow on my games 0 times to get them to work. If I rented a game, the first thing I would do before I would put that dirty, used cartridge in my Nintendo is I would clean it with alcohol. Alcohol and Q-tips. That's how it had to work. It had to work. There was going to be 0 blowing on my end because yeah, that's not what we do. So for me, I'm on team 0.
Okay, bougie.
Bougie.
Or what was the other one you had to do? You'd hold the reset button and then press the power button and then let off them both, and that would help it work. There was all kinds of tricks with the Nintendo to make
What
it.
the hell?
No, you know what? I'm gonna go with
My
Be Nice. If you had a
25-year-old
group of
Nintendo
people,
works
there
better
was
than
that
that.
lucky one.
Good grief. Oh my gosh. Doggy was like an abusive gamer. Good God.
The abusive gamer. I like that. Yeah. The abusive man. There you go.
Yeah.
Instead of the elusive man, I'm the abusive man. There you go. All right.
All right, let's see. JD's Barbecue says only 3.
Right, that's what I'm saying. See, he knows what I'm talking about. He probably remembers the other chicks I was talking about too.
Westbeck says I can probably blame Nintendo for 50% of my blindness. Just a board artist says I love Pizza Tower. There you go. Let's see. JD's Barbecue said that had that stupid alcohol pad. Yeah, me too. I used it all the time.
Right, yeah, we had alcohol thing, but yeah, it still didn't help out.
Thank you, Deathkiller, for saying blow on the cartridge instead of what the poll says. What does the poll say? Read the poll.
It says, how many times did you have to blow the cartridge before it worked?
That sounds good to me.
Just saying.
Yeah, I think Death Dealer worded a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. Pipico says I remember getting lightheaded from blowing as hard as I could on that card. What the heck?
Right, yeah, see, yeah, you get a head buzz, going on.
Fastback said my brother and I blew many cartridges. Then we learned to use alcohol with Q-tips. Right. See. Let's see. Be nice. We would pass the cartridge around, get the Q-tip and alcohol, then everyone take turns. There was always a lucky blower in the group. There's always a pro.
Yeah,
I mean, it's true though. If you had a group of
Oh
people
my
sitting
God.
around, you'd have everybody try.
yeah. Somebody got that lucky blow.
Oh my gosh, I remember this trick. Yeah, the Glidger says I remember turning the PS1 upside down. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
people doing that one.
Yep.
Fastback says Axel probably blew till he passed out. Nope, not happening. I was team alcohol. Pads.
That's great. Never had to do that with any of your cartridges. That is a man who takes care of his stuff. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
give
even
you that,
like used games I buy, the first thing I do is clean them with alcohol, pop them open. I go the whole routine. My games are in immaculate condition.
And that was smart cleaning those dirty rented games. That's what I was saying earlier. We rented so many games, and I know that was like the downfall of ours. You know what I'm saying? Just renting a game every week and everything. So, Yep, should have cleaned it first. But either way, it always worked. It kept working till till it was gone.
Yeah. All right, Deathdealer, what is the results of the poll?
How many times did you have to? Oh, 53% said at least 3 times.
Hey, what was the
38.
question?
How many times did you have to blow on the cartridge before it worked?
All right, tell us what the chat did.
53% said 3 times. 38% said 2 times. 7% said 0, and nobody said 1. So you are a lone person on that one.
No, I was 7. I was 7%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You were the lone person on that one.
I don't vote. I can't vote. I'm the one doing the poll.
Okay, then there's 2 people lying to themselves because I cannot believe that you never blew into a video game cartridge.
That's right.
I don't know, man. I think you just forgot about it or something.
I can't even do it today. I can't do it. And I don't know what the action of blowing is. I'm not a pro, like Doggy over there. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you got to get that game working somehow.
Dirty Doggy over there.
Dirty doggy. That's right, You rented that game, you were stuck with it for 3 days. That thing is going to work.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, that's gonna do it for intermission time, guys. Oh my goodness.
If you still have a Nintendo, try some of those tricks. It'll make your game work. If blowing and alcohol doesn't work, try all those other tricks.
Luis Vian says, I voted 0 because I don't play game. There you go.
Well, that's
See,
I believe. Okay,
yeah, yep. There you go.
That is the only reason I could say.
Oh my god. Joe Walker said, I still got it simply to blow in the cartridge. Oh my god, so funny. All right, there we go. Moving on, shall we?
Shall we? Should we
We
shall?
shall. All right. Let me turn this down. All right, what is our next topic? I lost our topics. There they are. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. We got our stuff. You know what? You want to know what's great about retro gaming, Doggy?
What's that? What
There's
do
no
we got?
such thing as licensing.
Yeah.
these days. There was back then when you bought a game, that game was yours forever.
Yeah.
Like this one. This one's mine forever. I own this. There's no licensing agreement. There's no terms and conditions, right? There's no bans. Nobody's gonna ban me from this.
Right.
I can do whatever I want with this game all forever. And that's another reason why retro gaming is iconic. Owning. Death Dealer, what do you think?
I think that was probably one of the main selling points of retro gaming that the older games will forever have on the new things. I mean, you own it, you can take it with you, you can use it on somebody else's
Let your friends
console.
borrow it.
Yeah, you can let people borrow it, you could borrow other people. It was at times a lot more convenient. You know, you have a physical copy, so you don't have to worry about if something happens to my console, I don't have to worry about it. I have the hard copies in my hands to do whatever I feel like doing.
That's right.
And if I don't like the game, I can get rid of it.
Refund.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you get banned nowadays, you lose all your collection or your digital purchases.
Right. Yeah.
Not back then. Right? Doggy, what do you think? Owning a game.
Yeah, I was going to say that about, if you lose your account and you have a bunch of digital stuff, it's just gone. It's just gone. If you've even bought a physical version of a game now and they decide they just want to shut the servers down, it's a coaster. I put my cup of wine here on, like the original Crew game. Sure, you might have it. I don't know. What's the most recent one? Concord. I mean, you buy these games, they shut it down in 10 days and you can't even play it anymore, So I unfortunately was not the smartest with my cartridges in my older collection and don't have those anymore. But I mean, I do still have this is probably my most valuable one I have left is my Marvel vs. Capcom 2, even though it's probably not as valuable now that they've re-released all of them. And there's actually the game in it, unlike a lot of my PS2 games when I was going through them earlier and they didn't even have the game in them, so that makes but no, it was just you own the game. You don't have to worry about servers shutting down. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It was yours. I know I can go, as long as my system works, I can go play this. I can go play me some Soul Calibur 2. I can go play me some Guitar Hero, that kind of stuff. Any of these games that I have back then, they still work now. So, and maybe not the Guitar Hero. They might have shut that down. That didn't work. But these older games, the cartridge games, that kind of stuff, yeah, of course that was great. And they still exist today. You can still go buy them. You can still play them no matter what. You get that game, it's going to work. No problems at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Because no matter what, Doggy's going to make that game work. Dang it.
Yeah, and it's good. Yeah, it will work. It will work.
Yeah. Yeah, built to last too.
I don't care about
the
crap out of it. It's going to work.
Yeah. Let's see. Fastback says, I used to love owning physical, but now less clutter is best. I have some collectibles. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. In my retro games, though, I love owning my retro games, though. I would rather own a retro game than to rebuy it on the storefront for some reason. Like, I want to play it on the OG hardware the way it was meant to be. And I own it. That's the best part about it. Right? Let's see. Where did it go? I forgot.
And these games, like, you don't have to worry about, like, this Marvel vs. Capcom 2 doesn't have any changes in it from what it was back when it released. If they want to go in and patch something out, no patches, patch something out of that and change something about it, about way a combo works, or just change, even out the fighters a little bit, they'll do it. And it's not original anymore, so that too, it came this way and it plays the way that it came day one. And it still plays that way today. So that was cool too. Hopefully I didn't steal a topic.
No, you didn't, man. You didn't. No patches.
Well, Yep. And
no patches. Yep.
Right there. Yep. Great point.
See, John 79 says, agree with old school games, but was paying €70 a piece for a game and getting $7.50 back. So just switch to digital. There you go. So everybody has their reason.
Oh yeah, no, I see completely why digital's more convenient for everybody and stuff. Especially nowadays, like with the Play Anywhere and stuff. And if, like say if handhelds come out for these systems and you got digital, then they'll go right over to your handheld stuff. Like if Xbox or PS has a handheld in a year or two, your physical is not going to work, but the digital will. So that's the advantage to that. But it's still not as good as retro. The king.
The kings
of gaming.
And that's why retro gaming is still iconic. You want to know what else makes retro gaming iconic, doggy?
What do we got? What do we got?
All right. Hold on. Let me see. All right. I'll say the first part. You say the next part, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. It's going to be up, up.
Down, down.
Left, right.
Left, right.
BA.
Start.
That's right. Cheat codes.
Yeah.
Cheat codes built into games. No pay to win crap. It was already built in. Unlockables built in.
Yeah.
You didn't have to buy skins. You just played and unlocked them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Extra characters. You didn't have to buy extra characters. They were already in there. Right? And that's another reason why retro gaming is so awesome. It's because, you got a complete game. 100% complete. No, buy this part now and buy that part later. No, unlock this great weapon for $7.99. None of that. None of that. None of that. Watch this ad for extra lives. I had the up, down, left, right, left, right. BA start. Games were complete back then. They were just so fun that all of this you got your money's worth back then. Very few games nowadays feel like you're really, really getting your money's worth, right? Very few games feel what I call complete.
Yeah,
and maybe I say that because I'm a retro gamer, right? And it's the way that I feel. Dustin, what do you think about that?
I absolutely agree. This is one thing that has irritated me with the way games are now for quite a while now. I get tired of buying a game only to have to fork out more money for a season pass or extras or whatever. And then even if I buy the game and download, let's say I buy the digital copy and download it on day one, I still, after the game's done downloading, I still got to wait for updates in this, that, and the other thing. I prefer the old school for that reason alone. It's a complete game. I don't have to do anything else. Just pop the disc in or the cartridge, whatever, and go. It's done. That's one thing that I do miss a lot about that.
Yeah. Doggy, what do you think? Even multiplayer was built into games back then.
Right.
Nowadays, it's I don't know, the multiplayer scene it was more about being co-op and common objectives instead of shooting each other back then, unless it was fighting games. But what do you think, Doggy? You unlocked a lot of stuff on GoldenEye by playing multiplayer with your friends.
Right. That was cool. I was going to say, just like Soul Calibur 2. You'd play through a whole mission mode, and you'd unlock characters, you'd unlock new stages, you'd unlock new endings, you'd unlock new characters. If I didn't say, that kind of stuff. Even the original Guitar Heroes, you would play through the game and actually unlock songs. It didn't just give them to you all at once. That was cool. Mm-hmm. Marvel vs. Capcom, that was kind of the same way. You'd unlock characters and stages and stuff, and that was cool. Grand Theft Auto, like Vice City, you would only be given half the city, which was pretty big, but you'd play half the game and then it would unlock the rest of the city halfway through it, which felt like a whole new game, that felt like a whole new part of the game, So, it's good that you get games that they come out complete, like you said. Codes, it was so cool, when people knew codes and you'd share them on the playground or whatever, have you heard this or that,
Oh my gosh, I remember the magazines used to troll us with nudity codes or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember those.
Yep. Or even like Grand Theft Auto, the original, Grand Theft Auto 3, not the original, but Grand Theft Auto 3, it was always that code they had, and you go duck behind the building and put it in. You had a bunch of bullets and guns and stuff like that.
Yeah, you didn't have to find them.
Yeah, that was so cool. That was cool back then. And you just play for hours, just running from the cops and shooting at them, getting you one level, and then go duck behind the building, get some more guns, come back out there. So yeah, that was cool. Man, we had all those memorized so well too. Yeah. Yeah, it was just cool. Yeah, playing through stuff to unlock it instead of buying it. Play, instead of pay to win kind of deal.
Yeah, back then it was play to win, not pay to win.
Yeah, so no, it's cool. That it gave you a reason to keep on playing and stuff, So yeah, now you get part of a game and they'll either patch something in there that makes it complete, or you have
Or
to
they
buy
patch the fun
something
stuff
else,
out.
or or they'll patch stuff out. Yeah,
like something broken in the game, they patch it out.
that too.
You nerf it.
Yep.
There's a lot of nerfing nowadays. Back then, like if you found like a super OP thing, whatever, it was there, right?
Right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just
Yeah, even like the passwords for Mike Tyson's Punch Out, where you could just get right to Tyson and face him, and you don't have to go through the whole game. Or like Mega Man had the little red and blue dot system and stuff.
the dot system, the coordinate system. Yep.
So you count that as passwords and stuff. And that's just you would do an internet back then, so you just found that out from your friends, or they might be in a magazine or something like that. But most of it was just friends or figuring it out, that kind of thing. So I think everybody knew the Konami code, though. I think that kind of
that's why I said finish it for me. Did you know the Konami code?
I don't know anymore. There were quite a few different codes that I used to know for a couple different things: infinity lives, extra weapons, unlimited ammo. It just depended on the game, honestly.
It was built in back then to like, hey, if you're going to struggle with this game, hey, here's this cheat code built in.
It's like they kind of wanted you to find that loophole, but they challenged you to find that loophole. But if you found it, you're rewarded for it. So.
And that's what was good about having a bunch of friends. Everybody would play the same type of games and stuff, because you could ask them like, okay, how did you do this? How did you get past here? It was nice.
Right. Yeah, I love that too, just talking to people and figuring stuff out instead of watching a YouTube video on how to do it. You'd have to like, man, okay, I'll go ask my friend tomorrow how he did it or whatever, So yeah, I miss that kind of stuff too. Now you just, like I said, fire up a YouTube and figure out whatever you need to. So
exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Cougar Man says there was games for everyone. Now there's barely any variety. Most of these games look the same. Yeah, the cash cows, man.
Right.
The cash cows. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Good point.
John 0979 says, remember insert CD2 to continue. And Cougar Man says he remembers that from Shenmue 2. Let's see. JD says, Freedom Fighters on the PS2. Put one code in and have all weapons at infinite health. Great times. Yeah.
That's good. Good. Yep.
Yeah.
Remember there.
Yeah, and I remember like even Doom had like God mode built in. So you could just play Doom for fun. I mean, it was so fun. Yeah. Games were, in my opinion, just built for fun back then, not, I don't know, to be forever games. They were meant to be just played.
Yeah, well said.
Different.
Yeah.
So different. So another thing that made retro gaming awesome, or why it's iconic, is that back in the day, there was a clear distinction between generations. Like you knew you were playing next gen back then. Like you knew that you jumped from 8-bit to 16-bit or 16-bit to 32-bit, or like, oh my gosh, this video is so blurry. Sorry, everybody.
That's all right.
Oh, that's as high as it goes? Oh my gosh.
It's got that Vaseline. It's got that Vaseline look to it.
I remember turning on Final Fantasy and going straight from a CGI movie to gameplay that looked this good. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That was a distinction, like a leap. You didn't experience that in 16-bit, right? And like nowadays, like last gen and current gen, they almost look alike.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this one has ray tracing and this one doesn't, or this one has 60 FPS and this one doesn't. But there's like no real distinction, right? Because like it was so distinct back then that they couldn't make Super Mario World on the NES. There's no way, there's no way that Super Mario 64 was working on the SNES. It was just so distinct back then that you knew you were next gen, and you were so excited to get the current gen console because there was such a leap. And nowadays you don't experience that leap, not like you used to. Not like you used to.
No.
And I think that's another reason why retro gaming is so iconic back then, because today's kids will never understand what it's like to have this massive leap in technology, entertainment technology.
Yeah.
The closest thing I can say to it today is when I went from like playing, my Xbox to put it on my Quest VR, and you're just like, whoa, in 3D world like that. I haven't felt that feeling since back in the day. So yeah, Death Dealer. Death Dealer. What do you think about this?
I think it's true. I mean, a lot of today's generation won't quite get that large leap in graphics and things because, I mean, they've already improved so drastically. Let's be honest, there were games out a few years ago that looked like movies in the cutscenes. I mean, It's been like that for a while, so they don't quite, and they now play retro-looking games and switch right over to something extremely realistic. I mean, I've watched my kid do it numerous times. It cracks me up. Like, they play Minecraft and things. I don't understand the appeal for some of those games, and I always crack up. I always tell her, because she'll ask me, play Minecraft with me. I'm like, I'm not playing Minecraft, and it's nothing against the game itself. The game would be entertaining. It's the graphics for the game I can't get past. Why am I going back to look at a bunch of blocky squares and things that after a while are going to mess with my vision when I can play something much more up to date and more realistic? It's just, there aren't going to be those large leaps and things. It's just, they're not going to quite grasp it the way, I mean, even trying to explain it to my kid, she doesn't quite get it. She just looks at me as if I've lost my mind. What do you mean games used to look like that? What do you mean?
What do you mean, Mom?
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Back in the day, we used to have to put our TV on channel 3 to play. We had cords.
Oh my gosh, that was another leap, going from channel 3 to like AV cables or AV cables to HDMI cables. I mean, you just don't get those leaps anymore.
No, you don't.
Oh
a lot of this stuff you just don't have to do. Cords. My child does not grasp the concept of having to have a
cord on a controller. Yeah,
on a cord. She's like, oh. I mean, when the controller goes dead now, what does she do? Change the batteries. It's not none of the stuff is the same. It's completely different. So these kids don't understand the struggle. They don't have the struggle we did. What is that? Is that a flower or is it a rock? I need a flower for this quest, but I'm not sure if that's a rock or a flower or some moss because it's just a couple of splotches on the screen. No, they've got it perfectly. No, it's not the same.
Yeah, like,
and it's almost unfair. I feel bad in a way because they won't understand how far things.
They'll never understand it. No, like this whole, we believe in generations. Yeah, sure, but you're still making games for last gen because there's not that leap anymore. I'm sorry, there just isn't. Like, I believe in generations because I experienced it.
Re-releasing some of the older games now isn't even quite worth it because the games look the same as they did when they came out 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, they're remastering games that are only like 2 years old nowadays. I'm like, what? Why do you need? What are you remastering? What are you remastering there? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. No, it's so retro gaming. That's another thing that makes retro gaming iconic. Is that, Doggy? Have you had a chance to talk about this?
You guys covered it pretty good. I mean, I was just gonna say, I mean, like okay, like when you had the NES and you're reading in Nintendo Power or EGM and you saw these next generation games and you're like, you're looking at Super Mario World or F-Zero, you're like, oh, that looks so good, man. I can't wait to play that. That's so much better than RC Pro-Am or this or that, and the jump from 16 to 32, that kind of stuff. It was so satisfying and stuff. But now, like, since like the Xbox One, PS4 era, it's like, games look so good then, it was going to be hard to beat that anyway. And obviously that's the deal because all they do is keep rehashing the same stuff and just adding frames to it. I mean, now we're just getting frames. We're not even getting much better graphics. We're just adding frames, and if you try and improve the graphics just a little bit, you lose the frames and stuff. So everything just looking the same. I mean, and I don't know. Even some people have said you're never just going to see that. You're never going to see that generational leap again. I don't think we ever will. It's just going to be more about, features and what can the console do and stuff, which is blah compared to me as to getting that new system out of the box and playing that game and just be completely blown away. Like, man, I want to check out another game on here because it's just like this system's just so much better than what I had before. But it's just not going to happen because like you guys were saying, the games already look so good. It's going to be hard to even beat that. So,
can I say something somewhat controversial?
You're going to bring in controversy?
Oh no, not death, not death.
Not controversy.
A little bit.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm going to be honest. I love my gaming consoles, but for the last 2, I have not noticed any difference whatsoever. As far as I personally am concerned, they play the same, they run the same, the graphics look just as, you know what I mean? Like, I do not notice a difference. The last 2 consoles, it could just be me.
No, and that's why like 50% of the users on each base are still using the old one because they play almost all the games.
I mean, the only one that really makes a real difference in between the consoles anymore is Nintendo, and it's because it's got the screen on it, doesn't have the screen, it's got removable controllers, it doesn't have you know what I mean? Like, that's the only one that has like a real distinctive difference between consoles the last couple of generations.
Yeah, like I said, the biggest leap I've experienced lately has been going from my Xbox One to my VR, and it's just like, whoa.
Okay.
Even though the VR graphics are cartoony-ish in comparison, they are like just that 3D being that immersion is like
it's different. It gives you a different feeling, of something that you played before. Whereas playing
it makes you feel that like, whoa, like Doggy said, like just getting that new console, throwing that game in there, and being blown away, like, oh. And that's exactly what happened when I put on my VR headset for the first time.
Instead of getting the 3rd remaster of The Last of Us or something like that, and the only difference is the frames.
Yeah, and
maybe ray tracing, but then the frames are
so
gone.
they say. But unless someone's like using tech to check the frames per second, really, let's be honest with ourselves.
All right.
Are they really doing anything for those? I mean, are they? And does it make a difference?
To me, frames per second make a difference, but that's me. Trust me, I can feel it.
I mean,
but
to me, I don't notice much difference. Some things might load a little quicker or something, but I mean, I don't know. Unless you're checking the frames per second, are we sure they're really adding more? Are we?
Right. Let's check in with the chat. I mean, because I feel like we hit a nerve. The chat is going on. Real going here. Let's see.
If I offended you, I'm sorry.
No, the energy is going through it. Hold on, let me see. My gosh, the chat just went through. All right, here we go. Pete Pickle says, first time playing the N64 was so amazing. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I agree.
Listen, Darby, to me, even the remakes don't look that good, right?
Yep.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see. Cougar Man, another thing that was great about retro gaming was Nintendo had games for everyone, whether it was wrestling, FPS, racing, third-person shooters, action. That everything. Not so much now. I think they still have everything. Just Nintendo-ish.
A little slam on Nintendo. Ooh, yeah.
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 Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. People are talking about other stuff. All right, here we go. Cougarman says, going from Sega graphics to PlayStation was like going from Al Bundy's Dodge to a convertible. How dare you, man? That Dodge had a lot of good memories. John 079 says, I'll never forget going from Nintendo to Super Nintendo, then PlayStations, guys. Dang. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Cougar Man says, Batman Arkham Knight came out over 12 years ago, but still looks like a game that came out today. Right? That's what we're saying.
Which game? Which game was it?
Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Stuff like that still holds up, like 360 games compared to even stuff now, those hold up good today, yeah. Just the last big jump was from the PS2 and Xbox to the 360 and PS3, in my opinion. I don't think the jump from those to the Xbox One and PS4 was that big. So,
Glinzer says, I remember GamePro using graphics, sound controls, and Fun Factor to rate games. I thought Fun Factor was the most important. Yeah, gameplay is king. I agree 100%. Let's see. Jesse Darby says the only place you're really going to notice a difference is PC, and that will be a minute. I play on PC, and trust me, like, I mean, if you want to go from 60 frames to 240 frames, PC's for you. But the $5,000 price for those frames, oh my goodness.
I won't notice. I'm not playing on the PC, so I'm not going to notice.
But yeah, that's another thing that I think is great. What made retro gaming so iconic was just that experience of like, whoa, right? Like seeing something that didn't exist before that suddenly exists now, graphically in video game world. I thought that was awesome, right?
Ooh, that's a good one, JD.
So yeah, but yeah, all right. With that being said, Doggy, guess what time it is?
Get that CD out of the toilet and quit blowing on that cartridge. It's intermission time with that DR.
Woo! Get that CD out of the toilet, Death Dealer.
That, again, not what techniques I use, but I still haven't figured out how he did it. But I digress. We're asking questions. You have an answer. We have an answer. It's all about retro gaming today, folks.
All right.
I hope you remember.
And go ahead and ask the first question, Death Dealer.
Okay. Now, what has been the biggest gaming leap for you? 8-bit to 16-bit? 16-bit to 32-bit? 32-bit to 64-bit? 64-bit to 128? That's I'm going to say, honestly, the most distinctive jump that made the longest impression to me that I still think about often would probably be the 32-bit to 64-bit. The Nintendo 64, when it came out, was just something else. It was on its own level at the time. It was something we hadn't seen. The controllers were different. The gameplay was different. The way the games looked were different. Everything about it was just different. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with that one for me.
All right, for her. All right. 64-bit. All right. Doggy, what about you?
Let's see, what's my choice? I'm going to go 16-bit, like the Super Nintendo Genesis, like the PS1 era, 32-bit. I mean, the CD, not only just like the graphics, whether you could put, I mean, there's just so much, and there's so much more memory here, but the music is better, the graphics are better, yeah, that full motion video stuff, if you wanted to do that, and it not like the Sega CD, like Night Trap kind of full motion video, but you could have good video, like, good examples, like you talked about, the difference between like Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VII. That was a great example of the difference in those generations. That was just such a big leap. 16-bit was great, but 32 just hopped it up so much more. And 32 looked so good that, I mean, the 64 was a jump, but it just didn't look as great between the 16 and 32. The 16 and 32, like the fighting games looked a lot better. Just, any of the games, you were just getting more close to arcade ports and that kind of stuff. To me, that was the biggest one. And then things started kind of blurring the line as they got farther down the line, so yeah, I'm going to go from the 16-bit cartridge kind of stuff to the 32-bit CD kind of era. That was my biggest difference.
All right. Great pick, Doggy. Yeah, for me, it's also going to have to be the 16-bit to 32-bit jump. I remember going from my Sega Genesis and powering on my Sega Saturn and seeing the Sega Saturn launch animation in 3D to make the Sega Saturn symbol. Like it's coming in like it's like reverse broken glass. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. and loading up. Like I remember, I think that my first Saturn game was maybe Virtual Cop, and playing that at home, it was just so awesome. And then like the Saturn was a 2D beast.
Oh, it was.
Everything's so much better in 2D. And
Fighting games.
I know that a lot of people were more PlayStation kids, but I was a Saturn guy, and the music. I mean, like Doggy said, like you went from, especially from like, you know, Beeps and Boots from oh, what are they called? It wasn't MIDI on the Genesis. It was like, what was it called?
What a sound chip? Like the
It wasn't. I know it was a Yamaha sound chip, but it had a very particular name. Let's see. What kind of sound did the Sega Genesis have? Digitized sound effects, analog synth waves from scratch, blah blah blah. Let's see. It was called. I forget what it was called, but it's like mixing two waves of sounds together to make a sound. It wasn't even a MIDI board. It was just a bunch of weird beeps and boops, and several of them on several channels, which, don't get me wrong, I love some of my Sega Genesis sounds, but
Streets of Rage 2, baby.
Yeah, to go from some of that to what the Sega Saturn was doing,
yeah.
Holy crap. You know? Holy crap. It was just so distinctive and such a big leap. And then having like playing Resident Evil with the voice acting, like that's actual voices.
Yeah.
Not like Sega presents voice talk football, voice talk baseball, or whatever it was. You remember what it was? What was it called? Voice something or talk football or something like that, right?
You're right. Yep. Joe Montana, real talk. Football,
Real talk.
or?
I think it was called like Real Talk or something like that, right?
Joe Montana.
And it was all raspy. It was like,
yeah,
it was always raspy. And some of the games were like fart noises to go to full clarity. Full clarity. I mean, what a leap, man.
Right.
What a leap. Graphically, the controller, I mean, they took the perfect 6-button controller and added the shoulder pads. Man, it was such a nice leap. And the CDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you went from like plastic cases to these jewel cases.
Right.
It just looks so much prettier. I'm sorry. It was just so pretty. Yeah, to me, that was my favorite leap. That was like when I was like, you know, I lost it at that point.
And that's like first generation. You really got like true 3D kind of, because the PlayStation was better at 3D, right? Like it was more
it used polygons, yeah.
Yeah, it was more of a 3D machine. So you got those kind of 3D games and stuff. Like you said, the Saturn was better at 2D, which did like that's why it was always better with fighting games and stuff. But it still did 3D good. Yeah, you got that 3D stuff in there, whether it be even Virtual Fighter games like that, you know. So
yeah,
that too, that was cool. Polygons, that kind of good stuff. So yeah, big jump for me.
Absolutely.
Like you said, the music, the CDs. Yep. The only downfall with the CDs, of course, at that time was the slow CD-ROM drives that were like 16 speed or whatever. You know, they were slow. You know, so
yeah. Introducing load times, yeah. And the Sega Saturn had a lot less load times than this PS1. Trust me.
Yeah, I was better at it.
JD's Barbecue said Daytona USA to Twisted Metal. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Jesse Darby says they stopped blowing cartridges a long time ago. Now they're blowing in controllers. Yeah, no lies detected.
Right, he's right there.
I mean, I think that there's okay blowing on the cartridge to get it to work. Versus blowing in the controller to get past the level.
I am absolutely not doing
I wonder
that.
what happens if I put my, like, you know, instead of flushing the CD to get it to work, what happens if I flush my PlayStation 5 controller? I wonder if that kind of works, like blowing on it.
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I have to say, though, blowing into the controller, I feel dumb.
Actually, really,
there's no way around it.
Anyway, but, you know.
Yeah. Let's see. Pink Pickle says I didn't have a PS1, so I went from 16 to 64. Yeah, like that. Yeah. Yeah. Blast processing. Yeah.
Yes. There we go.
Let's see.
That Motorola chip.
Cougar Man says for me, it's going from SNES to PS to PlayStation. That's like going from the girl next door to Kim Kardashian. Whoa,
Whoa.
oh man, that's going from the girl next door to the worst girl you can think of. Oh my god. You just scarred me for life, bro. Yeah. Let's see. JD says, I agree, Axel. I went from the Sega Genesis to the PS1. It was mind blowing for me. Right? Yeah. Glitter says, remember those PC games in the 90s, huge cases? Yeah, they were like the size of cereal boxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. All right. Death Dealer,
Yes.
what does the chat say?
All right. And the chat said, the question was, what has been the biggest gaming leap for you? And 38% said 16-bit to 32-bit was the largest jump. 38% said 64-bit to 128 bits was the largest jump.
Oh.
15% said 32-bit to 64-bit. And 7% said 8-bit to 16-bit.
So there you
Nice.
go. Yeah, a lot of people.
Nice varieties.
16-bit and 16.4. Yeah, I remember going from my Nintendo 64 to my Sega Dreamcast, and that was incredible to me. As well. I was just like, the colors, Duke, the colors. I'm just kidding. All right, and oh yeah, we have another question. Hold on. Let me get it ready. I'm not ready.
Not ready.
Not ready. All right, here we go. Staying on retro topics.
Okay.
All right. Start a poll.
We got so many questions. The man is not ready. But you know what? He's such a great host. He's going to have it ready here in just a second. That's
It takes a
why.
long time to type sometimes.
Oh yeah, I would be all. We'd be sitting here for the next half hour, like yeah. So
Yeah.
nope. That's why you and Death Dealer are a great host of your show. I cannot. That'll never be in my repertoire of skills. So shout out to you guys because that a lot goes into that.
Thank you. I have lots of help. I'm not even going to try and take credit for all that. I get a lot of help.
If I ever,
guys.
I'd have to have help too.
I'm slowly getting things along. Like I say every time, someday, one day, it will be slightly professional. Today's not that day. Next week's not looking great either. One day.
All right,
Someday.
we're ready.
One of these days, it's just gonna happen. And
We're ready. That delivery away.
All right. Okay. Are you a gaming cheater?
oh,
Yes. Konami is my side piece. Yes. Game Genie Shark is my side piece. Yes. I use Turbo Controller or all of the above.
All right, Death, be honest. Are you a cheater when it comes to video games?
I used to on the old consoles because it was easy with the up, down, left, right buttons thing. But now I wouldn't even know how to cheat.
No. We're focusing on why retro gaming is iconic.
Yes. On retro
You an
gaming,
iconic
some of
cheater.
them, yes, some of them I did cheat.
Which one?
which ones would we have?
I don't know the names for these. I don't know. I used to use the buttons and type it in. So,
All right, so she's a Konami coder.
there you go.
She's a Konami. All right, Doggy, I know you're a cheater. Look at this man. Look at him.
Oh, I'm a cheater.
Look me in the eyes and tell me you never cheated.
I never cheated.
I don't believe it.
Cannot tell a lie. I never cheated. Okay, so what have we got? The Konami code? Well, I knew the Konami code, so obviously I used it, right? So okay.
Right? You haven't forgotten her phone number?
Yeah. Let's see what we got next. Game Genie, Game Shark. Yeah, we had a Game Genie, had a Game Shark. Used them, enjoyed them, cheated with them. That I did. That we did, right, JD? Exactly, we did. And we got a turbo controller. Yeah, okay, yeah. My brother JD, he had that NES Advantage, which had that turbo, and you could even turn up the intensity of the turbo. It even had like a little knobs on it, so you could turn up how fast the turbo was. It was called the ASCII Advantage, ASCII Advantage, or ASCII something for the Super Nintendo, and each button had a turbo switch for it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, turbo controllers. I don't have one nowadays, but I'd like to have even one now. Would be cool. But yeah, I always use turbo controllers. So, all of the above, I'm a super cheater and proud of it. If they give you the tools to cheat, use it. Otherwise, you're cheating yourself.
I mean,
Yeah, right.
wise words were said.
Yes.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. And it's not cheating if they give you the tools to do it, right? So
I'm pretty
right.
sure there's a religious saying something along the lines of God helps those that help themselves.
yeah.
That's right. Sorry, did you guys hear all that rustling?
No,
A little bit.
maybe a tiny bit.
Could
Yeah.
have been me, could have been you. Who knows?
Who knows?
I'm not sure what that was. Yeah.
All right. Was I? My turn, I guess. All right. So, Doggy, sorry. Which one did you say? Were you a cheater?
All of the above. Cheated all of them. Yep. I had them all. Cheated with them all. If they had other ways, I cheated that way too.
You
Only way
cheater.
I don't cheat is I'm not a PC cheater with the keyboard and mouse doing that kind of cheating stuff on first-person shooters.
You're not a pay-to-win cheater.
Which that's probably the only way I would actually do good at a first-person shooter is cheat like the PC thing. So, yeah, go on ahead. On to Axel.
All right. Am I a cheater? I also never forgot her phone number, Konami.
Yep.
Konami, my side piece, Konami. Never forgot her phone number. Up, down, left, right. BA start, select start if 2 players, right? Game GD? Oh, no. I never. I didn't even keep any pictures of her. Yeah, no, of course not. What is it? What is that? Turbo? Like a turbo button, like the one you see right there? What? Me? Never. Won't catch me with those cheating like that. I'm a purist. I'm a retro purist. No, of course I used all those. I mean, I still have them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a retro cheater. 100% D, all of the above. That's right. That's right.
Right. Yeah.
Ladies, you want to know why your men aren't loyal? Because we were retro cheaters.
Yeah. We learned cheating back in
in our childhood.
Nintendo days or Nintendo days. Yeah.
Everything I learned about relationships, I learned from Nintendo. Look at that. She's losing it over there.
So your
Does that-
princess is in another castle? I see.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I did it all. What's that? You don't want me looking at your screen on multiplayer? Whatever. I'm looking at that screen. See where you are.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I cheated through to the extreme. Yeah. You want to know why Doggy is a certified Cheeto? He learned everything he knows from Nintendo.
Chester Cheeto.
That's
Yeah.
right. Oh my gosh. All right, let's check in with the chat. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Let's see.
A dream of kimchi.
Pink Pickle says, I used to play my brother in track and field and hide that I plugged in the turbo controller, then I'd smoke him in hurdles. Oh my god.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Win by any means necessary. I approve.
Yeah, that's right. And she says, oh, hold on. She says, a win is a win. Oh, here we go. JD says, you had that stupid NES glove or whatever from the Wizard Doggy. What is your quote from that?
I love the Power Glove. It is so bad.
It is so good.
Yeah, the Power Glove. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, remember us playing that, JD, and like we took that piece of crap back like in 2 or 3 days. Like when you played Super Mario 3, it would flip the little thing with your extras over at the bottom. You couldn't even get him to move. Oh, it was horrible. I think it was such a piece, man. Like, yeah. Yep, the Power Glove. But it is so bad.
It is so bad. Shout out to the Game Complainers. Thank you so much for being here. You're the real MVP. John 979 says, Game Complainers was definitely cheating. Oh, man, he's a Cheeto.
What is?
Let's see. JD's Barbecue and Bourbon says, I dream of Game Genie. Right?
That's right. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen, some of those games you had to cheat on, or you weren't getting any farther in the game. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Especially the Infinite Lives cheat code. That thing was awesome.
The NES Game Genie made the NES games work better too. See, like less blowing on the game to get it to work too. Like, it was part of the help.
Oh, that's
Oh
funny.
my gosh! Sometimes to get that game, if blowing didn't work, if pushing the power button really fast, however the hell Doggy was doing it with his hands wasn't working.
Yeah, pushing up and down on the cart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
telling
if
you
none
that
of that
stuff works.
worked, you know what? Get the genie.
just get the genie out. Yep.
Get the genie. All right. Death Dealer is the chat. Cheeto.
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah. 40% said all of the above. 33% said yes, Game Genie Shark is my side piece. 20% said yes, Konami is my side piece. And 6% said yes, I use a turbo controller. I also want to clarify, folks, that if you unplugged the person next to you's controller so you could win, that is
Right, yeah.
considered cheating. So
Guilty.
I'm told.
Guilty as
I
charged.
did it too, but it's somewhat considered cheating. The losers would always say that. So I mean, but the winner is the one who dictates history. So I'll leave you with that thought.
Or if you had like a jankier controller and you let somebody come over to your house, let them use that piece of junk, and you had the good new one,
Oh my god, I did that so many times. Jesse Darby says, shoot, wish we had cheaters now for all them Souls-like games. Yeah, Doggy for sure wishes that.
Yeah, give me a Game Genie, and I'm still not playing a Souls-like game. They can still go in the trash. That's fine. I'll blow on that and blow it out the front door.
Always wanted a power glove, never had it. Oh man. Doggy,
Are
tell
you-
him about the power glove.
Oh, it was so bad, man. Like you were the master at Rad Racer. You were the master at Mario 3. You're the master at any Punch Out. Yeah, I mean you were killing it. No, you weren't. You were
It is
taking
so
that.
bad.
You were taking it back to Kmart. That's what you were doing. Yeah,
It is so bad.
But it is so bad. I love the Power Glove. It is so bad.
It is so bad.
I love that movie. Still one of my favorites.
Gosh, I want to see it now. All right, here we go. Let's move the show along, right?
Right.
All right, so our next topic of why retro gaming is iconic is hold on, I lost my screen with all these polls. Here we go. Is massive single player expansions. Yes. Back in the day, before season passes, before battle passes, before all that junk, we had expansions like crazy, like serious expansions, right? I'm going to use StarCraft as an example here because you had the OG StarCraft, which was like 40 hours right there. And then you got the expansion, StarCraft Brood War, another 40-hour expansion with all three races. Oh my God, man. It was so great to get those expansions. Like, like you had the expansions for Half-Life. You had all these crazy games that just had amazing expansions that were quality. Like you had Nights into Dreams, and then you got the expansion Christmas Nights into Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Am I right, Dougie? Am I right?
Yeah. Yep. That's
Yeah.
good. Yep.
All right, let me try another, probably the greatest expansion of them all.
name off some good ones. Yeah.
The greatest expansion of them all. Are you ready, dog?
Yeah. What you got?
Right here. I got it right here. Bam! Sonic and Knuckles.
Oh yeah.
Greatest expansion of them all.
Nice, man. See that? Yeah. There you go.
Right.
Perfect. That was
Sonic and Knuckles, probably the greatest expansion of them all.
Expansion. That was the original kind of expansion, I
It
believe.
expanded your Sonic 2.
Yeah.
And it finished out your Sonic 3. I mean, come on.
Right.
And you got you didn't
That
just
was
get one
perfect
more whole game.
example.
You got like 3 whole games.
Right. Yeah. Finished off Sonic 3.
Oh, man.
They couldn't fit it all on one cartridge. So yeah. Perfect example. Wow.
Mhm.
Doesn't get any better than that example.
And
Red
single player expansions. And again, that wasn't a battle pass. That wasn't anything weird pass. I don't know what else. Lame pass. It was just fun back then. Like to me, retro gaming back then was like all about the expansion stuff. I mean, Death Dealer, other than Sonic, I don't know if you think Sonic is the greatest expansion of them all, but what do you think?
Oh, expansions back then were slightly different, but yeah, I agree. It was always different. I mean, I can't say anything else that you haven't already said. To, and the only one that I can honestly think of offhand would be the Sonic one. So I'm probably not the best on the opinion for this one. So next.
Next, Dougie, you're up next.
Yeah, the Sonic. Yeah, the Sonic. That was like the original. They started it all kind of with that, which was great. That was great on theirs. When it comes to DLCs and stuff, don't really remember getting too many of them.
No, but the ones you did get though, right?
I mean, the ones you did. I mean, DLCs like back in the retro era was DLCs for my Rock Band and Guitar Hero games, but those weren't really expansive. Those were only just like one little thing, but there was so many of them. There was like tons of them. Yeah, I mean, there was great expansions that maybe I didn't play. Like I've seen you mention though, like that one for Red Dead Redemption, the first one, that zombie one.
Oh yeah, Red Dead Redemption, the Undead Nightmare expansion.
Yeah, and that was its own
great
standalone thing. You know,
standalone
like
expansions. Yeah,
right. So that was cool. Like okay, so Grand Theft Auto 4 actually had expansions to it. Whereas Grand Theft Auto 5, they just said, to heck with it. We're just going to do just the online play and not even give you guys any expansions, even though we planned on it. So that was cool. Yeah, I didn't buy like a ton of expansions that I remember. Like there might be ones in the 360 I'm not thinking of, but still, yeah, the expansions were bigger then. They were cheaper. They were better. It's almost like you're just getting a whole nother game. Whereas to now, you're lucky if you can get anything, and if you do, it's just more expensive and it's just kind of fluff, you know. I mean, some stuff like that Elden Ring DLC, that was probably pretty extensive or whatever.
Yeah. Very rarely do you get.
Rarely do you get stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
back then, it was like the norm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. JD brings it up. Maybe Command and Conquer. Yeah, I mean, you had Command and Conquer. You had Command and Conquer, the Covert Ops. You had Red Alert, and then Red Alert. What was the Red Alert expansions? Jesus Christ, I forgot their names.
Oh, Axel, I'm disappointed in you.
Sorry. You had Red Alert 2, and then Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge. I mean, that was just like those were full blown campaigns and great single player expansions that just don't happen anymore.
No, if anything, now they'll just try and piece it into a couple different games.
Seasonal stuff.
Yeah. Something just, and you got to pay so much more. There's just not that same love.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I'm trying to look over here at my newer stuff to see if there's any expansions for the newer stuff. But yeah, I mean, the expansions may have been rare, but I mean, they happened. And when they happened, man, were they great. That's what I think.
Yep.
Right. So yeah. Let's see. Let me check with everyone here. Let me see. Splendiferous jumped in here, but where does he type first? Here we go. Splendiferous is in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP. He says, "Hello, Deathy Wethy."
Hey, Splendy Wendy.
What's up, Splendiferous, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. Back from the Dead says, now you get expansions like God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably
good point back.
It's not that it doesn't happen anymore, but it's so rare. Like Gears of War 5 did it with the
Hive Busters.
Hive Busters. Yeah. That was a great expansion, great campaign. But I mean, that's more the exception than the rule now. Right. Before it used to be the rule, and it just doesn't happen anymore.
No, I agree. Like one I can think of offhand right away would be Dead Island 2's expansions.
Yeah, Riptide, right?
No, Dead Island 2, not Riptide, just the second one in general. They did. It's a newer game, but it's an example of not good expansions. They released a bunch of expansion packs on outfits for the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have the weapons, but thank you.
Yeah, but Dead Island Riptide is the expansion to the first one, right? And it's
Dead Island Riptide is an expansion for the first game,
and that's 2 is really back good one. The expansion.
Yeah. My favorite expansions these days are the Forza Horizon expansions. Those guys, Playground Games, you know how to do some expansions. You have all new maps. You go through and you add so much content to it, So if I have to give it to anybody that can make a great expansion these days, Playground Games always knocks it out of the park. So for Fable, if they got an expansion, I'm expecting old school retro style expansion. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see if they can.
we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's back then. Like, and another thing and that's what made retro gaming iconic was single player expansions, not battle passes, not season passes, not outfits, like full blown
Right.
like expansion. I love that.
Yeah.
Which are great. Yeah, great. That was such a great example with Sonic and Knuckles. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, to
That
me,
was
that's the king of
perfect.
expansions.
yeah, that was. Yep.
All right, let's see. So you want to know what else is awesome about back then? You want to know what else is awesome, Death Dealer?
What?
When you hit the power button,
Mm-hmm.
when you hit the power button, the console just turned on. It worked.
Ooh,
You threw that game in the doggy. Whenever he finally got that Nintendo working,
yeah,
that game just
it
worked.
wasn't so simple.
Yeah. I mean, my Nintendo always worked, but yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just everything just worked back then, and it was simple. There were no patches to the consoles. There was no UI updates. There was no anything. I mean, it was just play the game.
Mm-hmm.
The game was the center of the console, and now it's different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's worse now. I'm just saying that this is something that I miss. Right? Death Dealer, what do you think? Do you think we had it better then or better now?
I think it's half and half. I mean, I agree with that. There's some games today that even though you don't play them online, if you don't have internet connection, you have to bypass if you're not hooked up to the internet for whatever reason. I mean, and back then you didn't worry about any of that. You just turned it on and went. And yeah, I absolutely agree. And like I said earlier, if you buy a brand new game on day one, when you get it home and put it in the console, you still have to wait for it to download from the CD, and then you've got to wait for updates and everything else. Wait for it to load. Back then, you just waited for it to load and you were good. You just went. There was no waiting for updates or anything. Or
That's correct.
Exactly,
You bring up
yep.
a good point. Even like on the OG
Yep.
Xbox, you put a game in and it just starts working. On the 360, same thing. You just put a game in and it just starts working.
mm-hmm.
Whereas, I mean, and those are newer retro consoles, half retro, I guess, and they just work. Like you just power it on, and I mean, I'm going through the startup screens because that's all that happened. You hit the power button, you were gaming, right?
Yeah.
Like I still remember, like on my Sega Genesis, throwing in X-Men 2, the Clone Wars. Is it X-Men 2, the Clone Wars on my Genesis? Yeah, X-Men 2. And I just hit power, and I get an immediate level with a random character. Like, oh, screw you, screw even intro screens. You're gaming right now. Get to it before you can even get back and sit down. Get to pushing buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just don't get that anymore. Doggy, what do you think, man? The instant on.
Yeah,
Get the game on.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. Yeah, you could have rented a game, could have went and bought a new game. You put it in the console, you turn it on, it worked. You didn't have to wait for the inevitable 30-minute, 118 gigabyte update that it was going to have because you couldn't just put the game in the box complete in the first place, right? So yeah, great point there. So that makes, what's more simple? Just turning it on, checking out a cool load up screen from the console itself. And then the game that's in there plays. No home screen, no nothing else. Which I know. But also, heck, you didn't even have to worry about your controller being charged up, right? Because it just plugged into the console. Sure, you couldn't sit more than 3 foot away from the screen. But,
Right.
I mean, even to this day, I don't even sit that far away from the screen because, I mean, I'm just used to that. They may as well have the cord on the thing. But you didn't even have to worry about your controller being charged up or anything. You knew it was going to work every single time. All you had to worry about was blowing in that cartridge and seeing if that bad boy works. But yeah, everything was just simple, man. Everything just, there wasn't going to, even if like 3 days later after you bought the game, there isn't going to be another patch you got to play. Every time you put the game in, it just worked simply. with your simple controller. You have your simple codes. You have simple everything. Everything was simple back then, except for the games themselves.
The difference is
Difficulty. It's not.
the difference is they would wait to release the game until it was good
Ready.
and up to their standard. I feel nowadays that they push the games out so quick and so often, they're not finishing the games until like literally the last minute, because it's like an hour's worth of downloads and patches and everything else. Back then, if you bought a game and there was a glitch in the game, better believe that glitch was going to be there.
Yeah, it was gonna be
forever.
there,
And we was no going back to fix it.
and we would exploit the glitch. Yeah, we would exploit the glitch. We'd find that glitch and just exploit it and
We
use
loved the
it
glitch.
for our own good somehow or some way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was wonderful. I mean, some of my favorite games, even though they've been updated and re-released for the other consoles, they still have the same glitch, and I'm fine with it. It's a funny glitch. It's entertaining to me. I know to look for it.
Yeah,
Don't-
exactly.
And also, just it's also just like I was saying earlier, like you would just play the game, and if you couldn't figure out what to do, you just keep playing. You didn't go try and search it on YouTube or the internet and spend all this time doing that. You just simply played the game.
Played
Maybe
the
you go
game.
ask your friend, right? That was simpler too, man. I don't know. That having to look stuff, it's cool to be able to find YouTube videos, but I don't know, it just takes away from the whole. So that was simpler too. But yeah, like Detro said, the biggest thing is you put the game in, you play it, no patches, no nothing, you just go. And that you get the game that's in the box. And it came right there.
Yeah, John Arnold 79 brings up another good point. No internet connection. That's right. No online
Right,
checking
yeah,
required.
none of that. Yeah, none of that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
No patches.
John
no
Arnold
none of that.
79 also said, let's see, every game back then didn't need patches either. You buy a game now and it's only playable a year later, as Death Dealer said.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
they released the
that's
game
the best point.
incomplete. Yeah, Cyberpunk is an example. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Pink Pickle says she went to go play Texas Chainsaw the other day, and there was a 2-hour update.
Woo!
Oh, gosh, yeah,
What are they
I know.
updating on that game? That's ridiculous. That is a prime example of the ridiculousness right there.
Mhm.
Uninstall. Boop.
Texas
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chainsaw
for
Massacre
real.
is a
Uninstall. Thank you,
basic
doggy.
game. That's nuts.
Simply
That is so
enough.
crazy.
Uninstall. Yeah, that's craziness.
Fastback
Wow.
is using this to his advantage. He said, I'm okay with loading now so I can go to get a drink, snack, and restroom.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Those
guess.
are your commercial breaks.
Right, yeah.
Blinzer says, devs today treating consumers as testers. Exactly. Exactly.
Pretty much, yeah. It seems like they don't really test the game.
Yeah, it doesn't pay to like get the game early. You may as well a good example is like Star Wars Outlaws. That game played to me terrible, and then they patched it and fixed everything and made it better 6 months after the fact or whatever. So yeah, yep,
Oh, well,
yep.
what about the games that they do the Game of the Year releases like a year after they've released the game, and they've changed like 3 things in the game, and it's the smallest changes, but it's the Game of the Year, and you need to buy why didn't we have that in the first place? If it's
Yeah.
so awesome, it makes the game so much better. Why didn't we have it in the first
Yeah,
place?
exactly. Yeah.
Or my
And
question
that's
is,
another thing that's great about retro gaming is when you bought the game, like that's the game that's out there. Like there is
Right.
no other version of that game.
Everybody played the same game. The
Yeah.
the game
same
that was in
way.
the box is the way it is today. You know, that's it never ever ever changes.
Detective, read this one.
As for cheating, Edwards, you play to win the game.
You play to win the
All right, I
game.
meant read this one.
Yesterday, blowing in cartridges. Today, blowing in toilets.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You
you know,
nasty.
all we're saying is what makes retro gaming. Sorry, Detective, go
and,
ahead.
and you need Jesus, right?
Sorry,
You
Detective. go ahead.
nasty. You're so nasty, and you need Jesus.
By the way, this is that load screen I was talking about, doggy, with the Sega Saturn.
Right, yeah.
Just need it, like reverse broken glass. That was awesome. Anyways,
Yeah.
so the
Oh, yeah.
main thing that I'm saying is that made retro gaming so great, so iconic back then was the fact that everything just worked, the simplicity of it. And you know, if you weren't like computer, but because back then to play on a computer, like you needed to know computers. There was no Windows. It was DOS back then. Like you needed to know code. So console gaming had a simplicity and we loved it. And it just worked. It just worked. And it just isn't like that anymore. Instead of computers going to just working, consoles are going to technical. And it's not the same. It's not the same, doggy.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Not
That
the same. All right, let's see. All right, so this one is going to be our hottest topic. I wanted to save it for the day for this. And that's that back in the day, big time publishers and developers used to do passion projects a lot between their big releases. And it just showed that they had a passion for making games, right? And I'm going to use Rockstar as an example because between Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto 4, you know what we got, doggy? We got Bully.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
We got Bully. We got Red Dead Redemption. We got all these other games in between.
Max Payne. Yeah,
Yeah, Max Payne.
yeah,
Yeah. It's square between every Final Fantasy, we got like a Vagrant story or
The
something
Bouncer.
like that, right?
The Bouncer. I need to play that. I haven't played that, but I want to play The Bouncer.
Yeah. You got all these games that were these developers that showed passion back then for gaming. And now, like the EAs and everybody else, if it's not a cash cow, it's out. And I'm going to call out Microsoft on this one because, the one passion game they had, Hi-Fi Rush, which is a great game.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it didn't make money, it's out. It's out. That's a bunch of crap, man.
It's a crime.
It is a crime against gaming. And
Yeah.
and that's just what I'm getting at is that passion. The gaming back then was about passion. And it's turned into more of greed these days. Like people want to become rich from their games and all this stuff. So in a big way, like I'm really starting to get into the indie scene because indie games are starting to be that passion that I loved back in the day. The Souls games, right? So yeah, that's all I'm saying is that I feel that back then gaming was made for passion, and Nintendo still has that passion alive, which I think is why they're so successful, right? But we'll see what happens. Death, what do you think? Passion versus greed?
I feel like it is an issue with passion versus greed, but I also feel like because the way people push the younger generations now in career paths, I feel a lot of these people making the games, the game developers, don't actually like or play video games themselves other than what they have to for work. Because I think that if they were actually someone who played video games, some of these games wouldn't have the problems they have, and they wouldn't do some of the things they do. I mean, more often than not, it just seems to be that's the issue for me. I personally have talked to someone who is a game developer, and they flat out said, matter of factly, they don't play video games. They don't like video games. And my question was, so what persuaded you to do this for a job if you don't like it? I mean, you would think somebody that would be a dream job for most people, but it seems I feel like a lot of them just don't like games, and that's why they are the way they are. Because if they liked them and played them, they'd do a little better.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that passion has gone out of the industry. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the big developers don't seem to have passion anymore. And EA and, to an extent, Activision is guilty of this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Right?
I agree. Again, not everybody is.
No, I'm not saying
No,
everybody.
I agree. I don't feel that not everyone doesn't like video games or plays them. That's a game developer. I think that there is an issue with too many of them not liking it.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah, Dougie, take it to passion versus greed. I mean, have some of our fantastic franchises have died to greed when they got bought out by the big names. You know?
You made a great example. Just Rockstar themselves, like back in the day, Rockstar brought out what Bully was that? Was that one of them? Was it?
Yeah,
one of the
Bully is
games?
one of them. I mean, they brought
Max
out like
Payne, Midnight Club. Okay,
Mhm.
now we don't get a game from those guys, but like once a decade. Like we know Red Dead Redemption 3. You're not gonna see that till 2030. Like, and they just know that they can just keep rolling with what they've got. Grand Theft Auto Online, it's working just fine. Everybody plays it. Who cares? We don't even need to bring out the DLC for GTA 5. Cancel it. Let's just keep going with this online stuff. No passion.
No passion.
Yeah. Like you said, Square made other kind of games before and stuff.
Yeah, they made LA Noir as well. Yeah.
Right. Square.
Yeah.
All these, and now it's to the point where all these big publishers, like look at WB, look at Ubisoft, man. Like, dude, if Assassin's Creed Shadows fails, I mean,
because they've grown to rely on their cash cow.
Yeah, but what happens? Like, what happens to that fails? They're done. I mean, that's the problem. You can't even like use Concord for example. That was probably a passion project for Firewalk or whatever. Nobody cared. Like nobody cared. It just got hated on so much before it even came out. Nobody even gave the thing a chance. Which maybe it was trash. I didn't play it or anything else. But I mean,
it looked good.
Nobody. It looked, yeah, but nobody even gave it a chance because they, So it's make or break, and you just got to go with these big name things. It's like you said, even EA, just go with what works on Madden. We're not going to really change anything and try and be different. It sells every year, so let's just keep going. Even though everybody makes fun of the fact that it never has anything different, but it doesn't matter because everybody keeps buying it every year. So, yeah, you just don't get these little side games that these great publishers, these great developers would come out with. Because a lot of these developers are gone now because they did do a passion project and they're gone. Yeah, it's just there's not as much variety these days from it, whether it be sports games, RPGs, fighting games, any of it. You just don't get as much variety, and the consumers, paying for that.
And this is another thing that just makes retro gaming so great was because you got to feel the passion, not the copy paste that the industry has today, right? Like the difference between Mario 1 and Mario 2, great. The difference between Mario 2 and Mario 3, man. The difference between Mario 3 and Super Mario World, dang, right?
Yeah, bam, yeah.
And it just keeps going with Mario for the most part, right?
Right, yeah, Mario always, yeah.
Yeah, but then you go to like what's the difference between God of War and God of War Ragnarok?
Oh yeah, 2018 and Ragnarok. Yeah, I mean
not to say that those games are bad. They're some of my favorite games. I'm just kind of using an example
but it was like a DLC of it. Yeah, it was the same.
Yeah, the same engine, the same
fighting, same. Yeah,
the sameness, and the Maddens, samey
Maddens, yeah.
And so all these developers have gone into this greed point, but I'm so glad that I grew up in the retro time when I got to experience the passion of the devs. And again, I think that's why I'm becoming such a fan of indie games, because sometimes these indies, I've said it before, indie games are pushing the industry forward now. It's no longer the big publishers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not. And so, not that the passion's totally gone, but it's just not in the big publishers anymore.
No, it's tough to take that chance because if you fail, you might be gone. I mean, you might be gone. That's just one failure.
Your job, your house, your wife, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let's see what the chat has to say. Glitzer says, back then, let's make gamers happy. Now let's make shareholders happy. No lies.
Yeah.
Cheese is Nasty comes in. He says, Baldur's Gate 3 was the last game I felt passion from the devs. Yeah. Let's see.
What's up, Jago?
Yeah, Glitzer brings up a good point, much like Death Dealer did. It's the Disney model. Those who make the Marvel movies didn't read the comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fastback says Bully was great, right? And you got that between Grand Theft Autos.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Max Payne's in there and the Midnight Clubs. Yeah, these guys, and now they they could just live off just Grand Theft Auto. They don't even need Red Dead anymore. They could never even release another one of those. They'll be fine. Doesn't even matter.
Jesse Darby says, I got a lot of respect for you three, Axel. When are you going to accept my friend request? On Xbox? Where are you friend requesting me, Jesse Darby? Let me know.
I know I'm friends with Jesse. Yeah, we've even played some games.
I should be friends. Yeah. I don't have any pending friend request. Did I delete it? I don't know. Let's see. John 079 brings up a very good point. He says the most beautiful thing about all this is that all us gamers are still united. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hey, great point right there. John 907.
Jago's in here. He did, but I'm not going to post what his chat is. Shout out to Jago. Thank you so much for being here. You're the real MVP. Appreciate you.
What's up, Jago, my bro?
There's something I can put it on. Yeah, God of War 2018 better than Ragnarok. Horizon Zero Dawn better than Forbidden West. Spider-Man 2018 better than Spider-Man 2. Oh.
Yeah, and see that's a great point. Like, yeah, where's just no passion, just adding stuff, and that goes back to our kind of somebody said that earlier. Like these are like DLCs just being added to.
Mm-hmm.
They should just be DLCs, but they're just made into games. One of you two said that earlier. It was a good point.
Yeah,
too, so.
yeah. Death Dealer said that. Yeah.
Death Dealer's brought up. She's bringing a fire tonight, man.
Yes, fire. All right, Harry Balzac says, "Hello, thank you so much for being here. You're the real MVP."
What's up?
Yeah, let's see. And I think I'm caught up with the chat. Thank you so much for interacting, chat. Love you guys. Death Dealer Doggy, anything to do with passion versus greed? And again, I'm so glad I got to experience the passion. Otherwise, games like Daytona USA wouldn't exist, or one of my favorite RPGs, Lunar, wouldn't exist.
Lunar,
yeah,
or even just Sega was like the passion developer, publisher,
and they still are, in my opinion.
We didn't get Final Fantasy, so we'll just make our own Phantasy Star. We didn't get Final Fight, so we'll make our own Streets of Rage. We didn't get Street Fighter, so we'll make Eternal Champions. The list goes on and on with those guys. Like I go all day with that. I always do that. Sorry, Sega fanboy. Yeah, that's what. Like they were passionate. Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe, Daytona USA, just the list goes on and on with those guys.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm so like I always love like everybody says like, oh, Axel plays all these games that nobody else does, and I'm glad I did because those are like passion games. Right, that were made for fun, not for commercial success. They were made because they were passion, and I always talk them up that they're so amazing. Like Otogi, Myth of Demons, right, or Panzer Dragoon. You know, I love my Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, nobody plays it other than me. But I'm telling you, man, it like experiencing Panzer Dragoon back then was like wow, you know, or Otogi Myth of Demons from Soft before they did Dark Souls. You know, they did action games, and I'm just like, wow, you know. So I'm so glad that I got to experience these passion projects.
Or even forward. like they were trying to make a new Resident Evil, and they decided to change the direction of it, but they decided to go with it, and they came up with Devil May Cry, you know, and that was kind of like a passion thing out of that developer, you know, and like. Yeah, you wouldn't have got that these days. They'd just be like, no, just make a new Resident Evil, scratch this idea on that, instead of having like a hack and slash that was genre defining like Devil May Cry. That's, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, even if it doesn't take off, it doesn't mean it's a bad game. That's all I'm saying, right? It's a passion of the devs, and I'm glad I got to experience some of it back in the day. Because some of these franchises are dead, doggy.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're right too about like indie games, you know, like stuff like Death's Door. We love Death's Door.
My gosh,
you know,
Death's Door was great.
You know, like that's passion. That's passion, and you can just see it in every second of that game.
Or like those horror games that Death Dealer plays that look awesome. Those 2D horror games.
Oh, those two. Yeah, those two.
They look so fun. Like they remind me so much of those awesome games you played back in the day. Like that's passion, and you know that's kind of like what I'm saying. Indie's driving the passion these days. Yeah, I'm sorry, Death Dealer. I don't remember that long name of that horror game. You
I can't remember this.
Yeah. So let's see. Glinger says, "Too bad Konami stopped being Konami." Yeah, I mean, Wave. What is it? Hydro Thunder. You had Metal Gear, which was a cash cow, but between the cash cow Metal Gear, we got Hydro Thunder. You know,
Yeah.
we got awesome games from Konami. Awesome games. I think Konami had a soccer game back in the day that was awesome.
Right,
too.
Konami did. Like they did
Yeah.
have a lot of different. They
Yeah.
were a publisher. They just brought stuff out all the time, And you saw that name, and you're like, oh, it'll be good. It'll be good because they did a great job with these passion projects and stuff. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Glacier-
Jesse Darby says, I played Panzer Dragoon back in the days, Axel. Yeah, man, I see you too are a man of culture who likes fine wine and fine games. Right. John 079 says, every game wasn't under microscope back then either. Yeah.
True that. There you go. That was a good point. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. But, Dougie, with that being said, guess what time it is?
It's about time to find out how retro are you, because it's intermission time with Death Dealer.
Woo! Take it away, Death Dealer.
All right, we are asking questions, answering them ourselves, and asking that you please answer the questions as well. And they are all about retro gaming and how you played in the past. Now, hopefully, you don't have Alzheimer's or dementia, so you still remember.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely.
That's always good.
Take it away, Death Dealer. Ask away.
First question is, what is the best retro peripheral? Power Glove. It is so bad.
I love it. I love it.
Light gun. That dog is a troll. Connect. I am the controller. The guitars. I love the rock and roll. I'm gonna have to say, for me, it is the Connect. I had a lot of fun with that thing. It wasn't the best, but it was a lot of fun to use. So, besides, what's better than using you as an instrument to play the games?
Oh yeah.
Best thing was you don't have to worry about the batteries and the controller dying. I mean, you can get tired.
True
but
that. There you go. Nice. Good point.
That's right. Back then, Xbox on, Xbox off.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Doggy, what do you got?
All right. So I had each and every one of these.
You did, really?
Yeah. So the Power Glove, of course. I've already explained how awesome a peripheral that was. You guys know it. You guys know I love that.
Why is it so awesome, Doggy? Is it because it is so?
Because it is so bad. It is so bad. We need that clip. You gotta bring up that clip. You gotta bring it. Light gun. The only light gun I had was the one for the Nintendo that came with it. I didn't have the Super Scope or any of the Saturn had ones too for Virtual Cop, right?
It did. It had the
red and blue
spinners, I think they were called
red and yellow or yeah.
No, they were red. They were called the stunner guns.
Stunner gun, yeah. So I didn't have any of those. But the light gun for the Nintendo is pretty cool,
And then you had the
you had Dog Hunt, like Hogan's Alley. There weren't that many. And then let's see what else we got here. We got the Kinect. Kinect was awesome for the 360. I did not have the Xbox One, but the 360 one was super fun, super cool times. We spent plenty of times on it. But I mean, you know where I'm going with this. The Rock Band controllers were cool. They were good, but the plastic guitar that was made by whoever made it for Guitar Hero was the absolute best guitar controller ever made. One of the best controllers ever made for anything ever. It was just perfect. It was a perfect size. The buttons were bumped up just a little bit. So it had the little slider strips. So you could the whammy bar, the wah thing here. Perfect, and it worked for all the guitar games across all. It worked with Rock Band. It worked with Guitar Hero. It worked with all of it. It was the perfect controller. You could even play other games with it if you wanted to, if you're that good
That's
at
right.
it.
You could. You could.
Wanted to play games with that, you could go ahead and do it. Yeah, I got to go with the Guitar Hero controllers, or the plastic guitars, however we put it. Just because that was my favorite stuff back in the day. Love those. But all these were great choices. But the guitars were the best.
Pew pew. All right. Dougie's going with the guitars. All right. So I never had the Power Glove, so I never got to know how bad it really is.
Lucas told you, man. You should listen to him.
Sorry, it is so bad. But I never got to experience it because I was so poor.
I took it back so fast.
So fast. Refund. So fast. Yeah, no Power Glove for me. Let's see. What are my other choices? Light guns. Oh my god, I do love my light guns. On I did love the Nintendo light gun, even though there was only like 3 games with it.
Yeah, Hogan's Alley and Duck Hunt. Yeah, what other one?
Yeah. On the Genesis, you had the Terminator game. I think like other games, but the Saturn is really where the light guns took off for me. Virtual Cop 1, Virtual Cop 2, House of the Dead, freaking even Generation X or whatever it was. That stupid Aerosmith game. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, Generation X, isn't that what it was called?
I think it was called Generation X, but whatever it was called, that terrible game.
I remember they had that the bullet. I was so junk. That game was so
trash.
Just listen to him all the time. I'm not an Aerosmith fan, anyways. Yeah,
I went to that game and played for 30 minutes, and I felt like my life was wasted. I touched grass.
You did waste that part of your life. I
touched grass. Yeah.
I'm not even worried about the quarters I wasted. It was just the life and times that I wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy.
Yeah, and then but then comes the Kinect. Gosh, I was day one Kinect. I bought it. I pre-ordered that thing back when it was called Project Natal.
Ooh,
that's right.
Dang.
And I love my Kinect, man. I even love the Kinect on the Xbox One. Screw what Doggy said. That Xbox One Kinect was way.
I didn't say it was not. I just didn't have it. Didn't have it. I'm sure it was. It's probably better.
Make up for
it. He's got to find a way to throw a shot at me somehow.
Doggy, don't listen to this guy. He's a cheater.
Right. Oh yeah, you got that. You got that right. Yep.
He's a retro cheater.
You're right. You're right.
No, and then so I love the Kinect. You know, I loved working out with the Kinect. I think there was like a Kinect workout game, like Xbox Fitness Pro or something like that.
I did never know.
And all it was squats like crazy, and it was like squat lower. I remember squatting with the Kinect and giving it the middle finger. I just remember that, but yeah, I didn't need to squat. My squat game was weak back then. And then you know, I love my Kinect games. I love my Gunstringer. I loved my what was it called? Project Eve. I think it was called
Project Eve. I remember that.
I think it was called Project Eve. Was it called Project Eve or something else? Whatever it was called, right? I love my Fantasia game on it. I loved all sorts of Kinect games. I love them all. You know, and then came Once Upon a Monster, the Sesame Street game, probably the best Kinect game ever made. That even though it's for kids, like that one uses Kinect to max. And I probably use the Kinect all the time. Xbox on, Xbox off, Xbox mute this, Xbox boot that person, reload. I remember you saying the word reload when I was playing Tomb Raider because I love the Kinect. I loved everything about it. And like you used to get QR codes.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was cool.
So instead of like entering all those 25-digit stuff, you just had your Kinect scan the QR code and bam, digital code redeemed.
Man, I miss that was awesome. As much as anything, right?
I mean, and who cares if I was scanning that digital code naked? I don't care who saw me naked. Whatever. I just got done working out. Okay.
I wasn't ever worried about that either. If you wanted to look at, my naked self, well, that's your problem. What's wrong with you?
Hey. Hitler has a privacy Kinect story. But but for
good
me,
times to be had.
I gotta go with Doggy, man. Guitars. I went through more guitars than anything. Like, I probably went through like 6 of them.
Oh, I went through those. So yeah.
I went through them like crazy, and I'm so sad that they don't make them anymore. Because I still want to rock out, man. It is out of all these peripherals, it's the only one I truly miss.
I still got one in a box,
and it's the only one that I wish I could buy today, brand new. So, yeah, I mean, I just, oh man, I gotta go with Doggy. I gotta be on Team Doggy here. Rock and roll, all the way.
When Walmart was like going out of business, and like all the Walmarts were kind of closing down, they had one over in Terre Haute, and they had like a whole like almost as tall like as a ceiling. It seemed like of these Rock Band or Guitar Hero 5 controllers, the best ones ever, like the orange and white one, right? You know, the Guitar Hero 5 one. They just had the standalone controller by itself, and they were marked down to like $29 or $39 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I bought one, and I still have it in the box because the other one I have still works pretty decent. But they always had a problem with where it connected together to get loose, so the buttons wouldn't and then they wouldn't register. You need perfection with that. So once it started getting loose, it wouldn't work, and it was junk. So you got to throw it out. I still have one in the box, and those go for a pretty penny, But I'm never getting rid of that because I still have my 360 hooked up.
I'll give you $3 for it, doggy.
Not a chance. I wouldn't. I wouldn't even sell for 300, man. Because I just love those Rock Band and Guitar Hero games so much, and it was the best Guitar Hero. The only guitar controller they make now is that PDF, whatever that thing's called. And I even bought that, and it's like the old the Stratocaster ones for the Rock Band 4. Those things sucked then. The only difference with this one is it's got it's even smaller and closer to you, and the guitar straps as long as a rubber band, and I don't know. It's terrible. So to have that old school peripheral, one of the best ever, and I'm glad I still have one. But I'll bust it out of the box when I need it someday. If I'm ever playing and my other one gives out, I'm busting it out and playing it. That's why I have it. That's why I have it. I wish I would have bought 6 or 7 more of them while they were there.
I wish it would.
That's my bad. Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. John Otto says, y'all remember the Super Scope for the SNES? Anyone have it? I don't have it.
I did not. Yeah, I did not have that. I wanted to get it, but I don't think they didn't really release a lot of games for it. And it was
I think they released 2 games for it.
Right, and I think they both came with it. I don't know, it was $100, and it just wasn't for me.
Did you have the Super Scope?
I did not.
Yep, there you go. No Super Scopers here.
Sorry.
Let's see. JD says, don't use the power glove too long, son. You will go blind. My dad used to say. Glinzer says, DDR dance pad. I love the DDR dance pad.
Ooh, yeah. Now, see, that would have been cool.
I still have them. Cool. I have 2 of them up there. I don't know if you can see them.
No.
You kind of can't.
Go dance. Can you go get it down and dance?
No.
Dance, monkey, dance. Dance, monkey, dance.
I'm going to lose 25 pounds to use it. Shout out to Dreadpool. Thank you so much for being here. You are the real MVP.
Bro.
Appreciate you.
Yo.
Let's see. Jago Coogan says, I had to vote for the Kinect. I laughed my butt off using the original Kinect with the game You Star in the movies. Oh, nice.
Nice.
JD says, no turbo on the Kinect.
No.
Yeah, no turbo on the Kinect. Yeah. Coincidentally. That's a good point. No cheating on the Kinect.
Jago's on my side. Pre-check, so I love both Kinect iterations. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure the Xbox One Kinect was probably better than the 360 one. I just didn't have it.
Yeah, Xbox record that. Yeah, I remember saying that many times.
Or you'd be playing people on Call of Duty and they'd be talking through it and they'd say Xbox off and it'd shut your Xbox off.
Right?
We had
my God,
for a while where
my friend, yeah.
We had the
I'll let Dilla read this one.
Kinect got confused with the 3 legs.
Triple. Why are you gonna be such a liar?
I mean, not for nothing, but that could be why he uploaded the update to call it Cortana, so it responded to all codes. Hey Cortana is great. Every time I turn around my house, hey Cortana, hey Cortana.
I see. So Dreadpool is over there flashing Cortana.
Nice to have another lady in the house.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, the snap feature. Jesse Darby talks about the snap feature. Yep, I remember that on the Kinect. Anyone else have the keytar for Rock Band? I don't.
I have it. I have it for Rock Band 3, and that was it. See, they didn't even keep doing songs on Rock Band 4 for it. But yeah, I have it. I even have the stand you could put it on, so you could stand up while you're playing it. Yeah.
I never seen one in real life.
Oh,
JD's Barbecue says, "Oh, what was the game that used the real guitar? Rocksmith. It was Rocksmith.
Yep. Yes, it was. Yep.
Rocksmith. Let's see.
Which that developer just got shut down too. That's yeah. I think it was Ubisoft too. I think that was a Ubisoft game that just got shut down.
So yeah, there you go. All right, so let's end the poll there. How did the chat vote?
Okay. What is the best retro peripheral? 50% said guitars. I love rock and roll. 25% said 25% said Kinect. I am the controller. 16% said light guns. That dog is a troll. 8% said power glove. It is so bad.
We need to see that. We need to see that, actually.
Oh my goodness. Do we need to see that, doggy? Do we? Do we?
We need to see it. We need to see it.
All
The
right.
Wizard. The Wizard. If you are a video game fan, which you're watching this show, so I know you like video games. If you haven't ever seen The Wizard, do yourself a favor. Go watch The Wizard. But I know you've seen it. Like, I probably watched this movie, being realistically, at least in between 50 and 100 times in my life. You know, like realistically, like, dude, I watched that movie so many times. And it was just kind of like a sales pitch, really, for Nintendo. If you looked at it, all the way to selling up Super Mario Brothers 3, because you hadn't even seen it until they showed it to you in that movie. But they, of course, were selling you the Power Glove.
Doggy, the only way I'm playing this is if you act out what he's doing. All right. Are you ready?
All right, let's go.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Copyright claim coming in.
All right, here we go.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Here we go.
Jeez.
He's good.
I love
I love the Power Glove.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. Woo! My man Lucas right there, baby. And you know what he did right after that? He returned that piece of crap to Kmart because he was he trolled you guys. Yeah.
We miss you.
There you go.
And your blue light specials.
There you
The blue
go.
light
Power
special.
glove. It is so bad.
It is so bad.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode where we recapped why retro gaming is so awesome and so iconic. I know we kind of turned into a complaint about modern gaming, but like, I just wanted to express the love of retro gaming that we have here, why we love it compared to today. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode, and next week is actually Death Dealer's episode, the Valentine's Day episode.
Ah.
That's right.
Oh, some
So-
parts.
Hopefully you guys will tune in for that one. But with that being said, guys, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. But of course, we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the chat. And that's why you guys, the chat, will always be the MVP to all of the shows here on the Iconic Video Games channel. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. I'm Axel1324.
And I'm Death Dealer.
And I'm so bad, Doggy Dog 420.
And we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.